And we are live. Welcome to the Political Orphans. My name is Nico Lagan, and I am your in-house conservative. To my left, Rob Ambrose, our token liberal. Our goal is simple. We want to show you that it's possible for a lefty and a righty to not only get along, but to be able to have a civil conversation when we disagree. Because never forget, common sense has no political affiliations. What's going on, bro?
How's your hanging, brother? What are you up to today? How you doing?
Just
Wise
noticed
guy,
that
way,
like we're
way
just
ahead of you,
talking.
brother.
What is he saying?
He's saying, I understand the votes for the throne speech were not recorded. What the fuck?
That is basically one of the things basically the main thing we're talking about today. It's absolutely fucking insane. And by the way, Short Circuit, good day. I just noticed that you became a member yesterday. I was talking to you earlier. Welcome. Make sure to join the Discord server, Short Circuit. If you don't know how, send me an email at info@nicolagan.com and I'll take care of you. Yeah, it's funny. I'll just say this because we were just talking about this, but I spent half of my time in Alabama, and there's a guy that had to fix my RV a few months back, and I have him on my, like, we've been texting, like we're younger people-ish, younger. I mean, I'll consider myself younger, not youngish. Yeah, let's say youngish. And we were texting, and he texted me yesterday after I went to bed. He's like, "Hey, bro, is it possible that I just saw you on TikTok?" I'm like, well, it would make sense. I have a lot of content that went viral on TikTok. It's kind of what I do for a living. But he's like, I saw you on the Jubilee Media stuff. Were you there? I'm like, yeah, that's probably one of my reels. And then funny enough,
well, yeah, my 15-year-old son saw the same thing. He's like, is this Nico? And the picture was a little buzz. Like, I saw that what your shirt said, like, what did your shirt say? Men's Lives Matters. I was like, yeah, that's definitely Nico. 100%.
And it's just funny because this is how social media works sometimes. Like, I just listened to the reel because it's a debate I had been in. I was in California. I was debating feminists. It was men rights activists versus feminists, yet 6 out of the 8 people were feminists. We had 2 feminists on our side. So either way, the video's crap. I don't understand why people are liking this, but there's like 2 million views. So obviously it's hitting people the right way, but it's so badly edited. So bad.
Social media.
Well, it's funny, man. I just find it funny. It is what it is. It's just a matter of time before our stuff does the same, because I get my personal content go viral all the time. But normally I know why it goes viral. I look at the video and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I can tell when I post something, I'm like, this is going to do well.
Well,
I won't repost that on my, I won't download it. I was downloading it, reposting it. I listened to it. I'm not posting this shit. This is fucking garbage. It's fucking garbage.
Well, yeah, the reel that of the one that you made the other day, us watching it, that's doing quite well on YouTube here.
It's doing quite well on YouTube. It's doing the video itself. The reel is doing super well on my Instagram account. I'm creating some of those. Yeah, what's up, fucker? That's Misfit. What's going on, bro?
Misfit, what's going on, brother?
You know, it's one of those things that I'm going to use them to try to get the person on the show.
The
like the David Bexby,
that'd be great. I'd love. Yeah.
I did another one. Oh, fuck! Who the fuck do you take me for? I've done that. I tagged him in the original, but I did another one today from a speech from Aaron Gunn, a conservative out of BC.
Yep,
I like what he was saying. I did another one, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm kind of taking my time to create those, hoping it does well by tagging them in the reel, so that they reach out to me and say, are you the one that did this? Yes, you should come on my show.
So let's and speaking of people coming on the show, guys, tomorrow we're going to have a guest. It will be a lawyer from I'll let Nico can let us know who it is. I'm not sure, but it's a lawyer. We're gonna do a deeper dive into Bill C2 than we did yesterday. So if you guys do have any questions about it, be sure to read it. If you have any questions about it, this is going to be your guy to ask. You'll be able to ask them live as we go.
So you kind of destroyed the thunder on this one because I had
Sorry
a
about
speech
that.
prepared for this.
Oh
so
shit. Okay. Well, guys, ignore what I just said. Nico, is there anything coming down the?
There you go. I just muted you. It's easier that way. So tomorrow we will have John Carpe. He is a Canadian lawyer and the president of the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom, so that we can do a deep dive on Bill C2. And before I forget, thank you, Cheryl, because I asked on the Discord server if somebody knew of a constitutional lawyer that would be familiar with Bill C2 or at least come on the show. Because it's one thing to have a lawyer come on the show and him being competent and cool to look to listen to. Very different thing. I've recorded a lot of podcasts with cool people that did not translate well in a recorded environment. Like it did not make for good content. But this guy is the bomb. Like I listened to a few of his videos this morning. The guy's solid. But they have a massive audience on X, and the guy, from what I can tell, has a set of balls on him. Like he talks about the same type of shit I post about all the time. So John
This is
Carpet
his wheelhouse,
is going to be on the
right?
show tomorrow.
He's like
Yeah,
a
but that
social
doesn't
media
mean
guru kind of thing.
I don't know if he's a guru, but he's solid in front of a camera. Well spoken, good looking dude, well spoken. Wears a suit. Like if you think about a lawyer, he looks like a lawyer. He sounds like a lawyer, but he seems like a very. If I had to choose a lawyer to come on the show to talk about this is probably exactly who I would have chosen. So Cheryl, I know you're not there right now, but awesome, very good suggestion. I'm happy that he said yes. I reached out to him yesterday. They agreed yesterday night. So here we are. Hopefully we can do more with him if it goes well tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I've always been looking, I always look for lawyers to speak law about what we speak about here, what I speak about on my other platforms, because I'm not a lawyer. It's always good to have a lawyer on the show to talk about these stuff from a law perspective, to make sure that I'm not full of shit, that you're not full of shit, that it's actually, we're talking the truth and not just out of our asses. So tomorrow, John Carpe, he'll join us 10:30. So that's 12:30 Eastern. I don't know how long we got him for. They didn't confirm, but I told him that we did record until 2:30. So don't be surprised if he's here for a while. And get your questions ready about Bill C2. If you have any questions about that bill, if you have any question about anything else too, like we have a constitutional lawyer on the show tomorrow. So even if it's not about Bill C2, it's something else that Carney's doing.
Well, he's from Alberta, so you may, if you have any questions, it may go. I'll certainly probably ask at some point towards the end if it hasn't come up yet. What his take is on that. I'm just looking at the screen here. If you had a black hat, we would be exact opposites because your shirt matches exactly my my hat.
I had a hat just before I recorded. I just dumped
black
it.
one. No, we could have had something there.
I got upstairs. I get upstairs this morning because I get up way before my wife, right? And I get upstairs after she got ready for work. She's wearing the same color T-shirt as I am. She has black pants just like I do. I'm like, seriously?
You got twinsies.
Exactly. And now with you, like, wow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I guess I'm gonna make sure to text you before the show now.
Yeah, we gotta coordinate our wardrobes.
I have never worn a shirt this color. It's a pack that I bought. I like summer pack that I bought.
Job. I like it.
It's all a bunch of homo colors. That being one of them. Is the first time I wear it, and it has to be on the day that you wear.
Homo.
I wasn't going to say your homo shirt, your homo
hat,
because you wear one pretty much every day. But
of course, yes. Let's see here, Misfit. We'll take a few of the comments, and then we'll get into it. He says, "What is going on? This country is becoming a shit show." He continues. The question is, what kind of shit? Dog shit, horse shit, all of them. Yes, it is all of the shits. All of the shits are what it's becoming.
It doesn't look good, especially not about what happened yesterday. Oh shit! I just noticed my banner is not showing. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
The question of the day. Let me ask you this before I forget. The question of the day: do you think that the Conservatives dropped the ball yesterday? And what I'm talking about is the fact that we had the chance for a vote of non-confidence yesterday. We had a chance to literally rehab another election yesterday. The NDP was down. I assume the Conservatives were down because they started the motion this week to have this vote of non-confidence put into place yesterday. Yet, as you will see, but not only did they not take votes, it seems that nobody was in the fucking parliament yesterday, and it was all yay. So even Andrew Scheer voted in favor of the Liberals. The Bloc voted in favor of the Liberals. It's fucking insane. But it gets even worse, and this is what I want to talk to you guys about, and I'm going to ask you later on is I'm very, as you guys know, if you've been following us for a while, you know that I'm a real conservative. I'm not a political conservative as per Canada. I wanted to see what the conservatives out there felt about what happened yesterday. And there are people out there, massive accounts, and I will show one later on, that still defends them. That still defends the chance that they had to overthrow this government and to have another election. Yet, nobody voted against them to a point where they decided, they agreed to not tabulate the votes. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
So yeah, so Sylvie said the CPC voted yes. Oh my god. So just a little context here. So it was called on division. The vote was accepted on division, which is a specific term in Parliament, and it essentially means all parties agree that the vote would pass if they did it, and so they agree not to do it. Why? So technically no one voted for it and no one voted against it. They just were like, yeah, it would have passed if we did it. So let's not even bother doing it. Why would they do this? I don't know. It certainly benefits the Liberals because then they clearly don't have to take the risk that that they lose the vote. It is weird because the NDP said they were not going to vote for it. They said they were going to vote against it. So if the Conservatives voted against it, all you've got to do then is to get the Bloc, and that seems like you could do it. And imagine that would have been wild if we're just right back where we started.
We literally yesterday saw once again that there's a uniparty. That
it feels like
they are all working for themselves. You know, when Trudeau was in power, we saw a uniparty between the Liberals and the NDP. Now, funny enough, the NDP was the only one, the new interim leader, and I have a video to talk about this. He's the only one that voiced his opinion saying, I will not vote in favor of the Liberals. But because everybody agreed to not tabulate and not vote on it, because we're all like, oh, it's going to pass no matter what. Okay, so how do you explain the 166 to 164 that happened on Monday? Like, they take us for a bunch of fucking idiots and now try to convince me that there's not a uniparty. Try to convince anybody out there that there's not a uniparty. And what pisses me off the most is not that the Liberals won it, is that there's conservative voices out there with massive platforms that are still fucking defending the Conservative Party like what they did was the right thing. You're the party of opposition. You should be opposing every single fucking thing the Liberals propose, unless it's one of your platform. They literally stole your platform to try to put it in place. But unless it's your thing that they stole from you, you should be saying nay to everything that they do. That is why it's called a party of opposition. Fuck.
Yeah. And even if you do officially support it, you need to be out there saying we support it because this was ours. They stole it from us.
You stole it from us, exactly.
Yeah, like I don't get why they would do this, right? Like I do believe the vote probably would have passed, but the point is make them earn it. Why give them anything? Why give an inch if you don't have to? Like that's the whole point of being an opposition party. They say, oh, the vote probably would have passed. Okay, yeah, I even admit it probably would have, but make them do it. Make them fucking earn it. I assume maybe the Conservatives didn't want their members to. I don't know why. Like it's
expose
not like they would
themselves for being liberals.
Yeah,
they didn't want them to sound like Doug Ford.
Yeah,
Like,
because
what
I've
are we
heard
talking about here?
I've heard conservative accounts, as you say, that are defending it, and it's all some version of, well, it wasn't the right time. They're keeping their powder dry, but like, there's no like. It doesn't hurt you at all to force a vote. That's all it does. It's like, even if you have a plan down the road to take Carney down, having a vote yesterday does not affect that whatsoever. You can do both. I don't understand why they went this direction.
Nobody in Parliament can ever say again that there's a crisis.
Yeah.
Never. You cannot convince anybody right now, as much as I already didn't believe you, obviously, but you can no longer say that there's a crisis right now. You cannot say anymore that there's really something that is destroying Canada right now. And I don't care that you're liberal or you're conservative, you're full of shit because you chose not to even vote on this when you want to fucking vote. This week, you guys voted one. You guys had to vote and you won against the Liberals. The Bloc, the NDP, and the Conservatives, and 4 Liberals didn't show up. Yet now you're telling me that, oh, we're just going to accept that it would have passed. You don't get to say that there's a crisis anymore, especially now that you guys are leaving for vacation in like 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly takes the wind out of their sails on any messaging about a crisis, for sure.
And where's the outrage about Bill C2? Because that's another thing. I still haven't seen those guys talk about it. What the fuck's going on with Bill C2? If I was in Parliament, I would be fucking outraged by Bill C2. I'm outraged as just a regular Canadian. I'm fucking outraged that this shit is even being proposed. Yet I don't see the Conservatives talk about it. So am I to assume that it will pass because of what I just saw yesterday? Because they had the chance to actually overthrow the government if they wanted to. They chose not to. So at the end, they're basically telling me that there's a price for their heads, there's a price for their values, and they got bought off. That's all it shows to me yesterday, is that something behind the scene happened from Monday to yesterday that we're not aware of. Something happened that they just fell in line. And that doesn't surprise me, because Andrew Scheer is as bad as Pierre Poilievre is. He is weak as shit as a leader, and he doesn't do anything to stand up for Canadians. So at the end of the day, you know what? Let me ask you this before we get into more, because I got a bunch of articles. I got some videos I wanted to show you. But if you look at what happened yesterday, you're a lot more informed than the average Canadian is when it comes to politics. As a guy that voted for the Conservatives, do you still feel good about your vote, considering what happened yesterday?
I mean, so I'm like, obviously it's a slightly different tact for me, because I'm not a conservative. Mine was a protest vote against the Liberals. I'm more. I feel like when I'm watching this, I'm more an outside observer. Just trying to watch what's going down. I don't understand, just from a purely strategic standpoint, why they would do this. Like, that's the whole point of being an opposition party, is holding the other side's feet to the fire, make them earn every single thing that they get. As Misfit says, you give them an inch and they will take a mile. I'm not convinced by that. Well, they have to keep their powder dry, because forcing a vote doesn't use up any powder whatsoever. It doesn't prevent you from doing anything down the road. It certainly adds fuel to the fire of the people who claim that it's just a uniparty, like my co-host here. And it certainly makes it hard to see it as anything other than that. I don't know why. I don't know why the Conservatives aren't talking about it. I don't know where Poilievre is. You would think he's the leader, and he doesn't even have a fucking seat. He needs to be out there leading. He needs to be out there with his face all over the news, all over the Liberals, like white on rice. And he's in the background somewhere, as Sylvie says. Poilievre said nothing on C2. He's still posting about pipelines. I don't even see him post at all. I mean, I guess so he is. So at least he's saying something, but he should be getting out there in front of like every camera he can find. He should be railing against C2, because there's enough in there that he has, he can have absolutely legitimate complaints, legitimate concerns to bring up. And I don't see any of it. The whole Conservative Party just seems very weak and neutered and emasculated right now.
Pierre Poilievre, it's funny because I did not realize that we weren't seeing him.
You don't even notice it, right? Like he's a non-issue.
So as you mentioned it, I jumped on his X 2 hours ago. Liberals have given us the worst economy growth in the G7 since Carney first became Trudeau's economic advisor. Where the fuck was that yesterday on the vote that you could have overthrown him?
Yeah.
16 hours ago. Good luck to the Edmonton Oilers. Who the fuck cares? Pierre Poilievre, 17 hours ago. I'm saddened to hear of the passing of the former Liberal minister, Marc Garneau. Sorry you died, bro, but how the fuck is that helping Canadian? Don't care. 19 hours ago, the Parliament budget officer project that interest on the federal debt will hit 70 billions within 4 years. Why the fuck did your party not vote against the or for the motion or against the speech of a throne yesterday? 20 hours ago, Olivier Zappa a raison pendant les ventes de véhicules électriques. Who the fuck cares about electric cars? Like, what the fuck is he? That's the leader? This is the guy you conservatives want as a leader. Completely disappears. Thin air, just like, woo, just gone. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? This is your leader, guys. This is the dude that's gonna save Canada? We're fucked. We are fucked.
Yeah. It's I mean, because I'm not a conservative, I'm not like enraged by it the way I think any conservative would be. I'm more confused. I'm just right now I'm just being an umpire calling balls and strikes, and I don't see any strikes here by Poilievre. He's just throwing ball after ball after ball after ball, swing and a miss.
Not even trying. He's not even there.
He's not even.
He's not even trying. Fucking Millhouse is going after Lisa Simpson again. Like, he's not even fucking trying.
Yeah.
People had the audacity, conservatives have the audacity to tell me that the reason why the Liberals won is because I didn't vote conservative. People had the audacity to say that I threw my vote away because I didn't vote for any of those guys. I do not endorse anybody out there because I want to be able to talk against every single one of them when I need to. I don't want my views to be impacted by a party that I follow. Not gonna happen. But none of them earned my vote, and this is exactly why they didn't. That Poilievre, I could not fucking vote for Poilievre because I called him a weak leader the whole way through. Right there. He has a team of people that can create content for him. He ain't fucking sitting on his cell phone creating content on CapCut. I'm telling you.
No.
So he's on vacation now because he doesn't have a job, technically, right?
Yeah. I mean, he supposedly he's gonna be earning a job in, I believe it's August, is it? Is the by-election, I think. He should be out there. He should have his face there imprinted in the Canadian public's mind. He's disappeared. He's a ghost. And I don't understand any of the concern. Yeah, I would be furious if I was a conservative. Just not even furious, just disgusted and depressed. As Tammy here says, being a conservative in Canada is frustrating and depressing, as I said. We haven't had a conservative party or conservative representation for years. I mean, just where's the fight in you? Where's it's the party, it's the same energy as Eeyore, from Winnie the Pooh, that fucking donkey. He's like, thanks for caring. Nobody likes me. Like, Eeyore's got more energy. Eeyore's got more fucking drive and dynamism than the Conservative Party right now. I don't know how anyone could see that and be like, yeah, those are my guys.
Listen to this. Like, I'm looking at his X and I just kept on scrolling.
Yeah.
I post 5 times more than he does on a daily basis. I post 5 times, if not more, because I'm looking at his content. May 16th, he posted twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. And then after that, it's like once on May 17th, once on May 18th, twice on May 18th, one on the 19th, one on the 20th. Like, he completely disappears, and now he goes days without posting. And then just like Sylvie's saying, oh, sorry, not that. He's like just right here. Oh, he also posted a couple of photos of him with his kids,
which is fine. But like, if that's all you're posting, that's a problem. Like, I don't understand. To me, it says something about his character, and I think it validates some of the things you've been saying about him.
What character?
That he's weak.
Character?
I think it validates things you've been saying about him throughout the campaign, that he's weak, because look, just without knowing anything else about, like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but we do know some things. We know he lost his riding, and we know that he did some shenanigans to get someone to give up their seat that he has to now win. So just from nothing else, you would think, at least if it were me, I would feel embarrassed, and I would feel like I let my party down, and I would say, you know what, guys, I'm going to go out there from now until the by-election, and I'm going to prove to you that I'm the man for the job. You're not going to be able to turn the TV on without seeing my face out there. And where the fuck is he? Oh, like, it's just this giant wave of like entitlement. He's just coasting to it. He just assumes he assumed that someone was going to leave him a seat. He assumes he's going to win it. I hope he loses.
Just the way he is right now, I hope the guy that was planning about giving him his position, like giving him his writing, is just gonna say, "Fuck you, Pierre."
Yeah, I can't give it to this weak, fucking anemic, emasculated, neutered leader. I'm not even a conservative. I don't even care about the politics of it. I just think, man, that's so pathetic. That's so weak. Man, have some pride in yourself. Have some pride, like be embarrassed, be appropriately embarrassed that you lost so badly, and make it up to everyone that you let down. Okay, like, yeah, it wasn't fair.
It costs nothing. It costs nothing. You remember what I told you? Remember what I help content. I help businesses out there and foundations how to build platforms, how to build strategies. And I said this during the campaign. All he needed, a phone. Every day for an hour, 5 p.m., 6, no, every day, 7 p.m. for half an hour, however much time, book it. Go on live and start talking to people. Start taking questions and comments like we do every fucking day for 2.5 hours.
Imagine that. He just went on 1 hour a day, no agenda, no topic, just fucking ask me anything. Ask me anything.
There you go. That's all you need. There you go. A tripod.
Yeah,
there you go. That's all you need.
If people are
you don't need an external microphone. You don't need anything.
No.
I have content with millions of views on. I have it on my phone. I'm walking my dog in the morning, smoking a cigar, talking in my phone. That fucker can't even fucking bring himself to post. Can't even bring himself to actually look like he's a fucking leader.
That's because he's not. His handlers. Go ahead.
No, it's him. People need to stop making fucking excuses for Pierre Poilievre. He is a weak fucking leader, just like I've been saying throughout the fucking campaign. He's just proving it right now. If I'm able to create 5, 6, 7 pieces of content every fucking day, imagine him. I have 200,000 followers. He has 1.4 million on X, and I guarantee you that today, if he made a post saying, "Hey guys, I'm looking for social media platform to go on. I'm looking for podcasts to go on because I'm not gone, guys. I'm still here. Yes, I'm not as visible, but I'm working behind the scenes. This is what I'm doing. I want to be on platforms. Let me know. Have me on. Here's my contact. Send me an email. I'll go on your show." Do you know how many people would contact that guy? Where's that post? I could literally write it for you right now. Give me access to your fucking account and I'll do it right now. It'll take me 2 seconds. It'll be done. Yet, what is he doing? Nothing. Fuck, you're pissing me off because I didn't even realize that fucker just disappeared. Just fucking disappeared into thin air. And until you said something, I didn't even fucking realize that he disappeared. That's how
the fact that you didn't even realize it is like, he's not even remotely. We didn't even miss him. And yet this is the guy that the entire Conservative Party is fucking rolling, like bending over to squeeze him into a position that he hasn't earned. Like, okay, I heard all the excuses, right? I heard of it wasn't fair that Carney, made this about Trump and blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, it wasn't fair. But you still let everybody down. You still let the Conservative Party down. You still they still bent over backwards to give you this seat out in Alberta. The least you should be doing is showing them that they didn't bet on the wrong horse. I am your guy. Because right now, he looks lazy. He looks entitled. He looks like he's entitled to that seat. Do you
see that face? Do you see that face? Look at that fucking smug. Like,
Oh, look at this here. Sasquatch says, I always thought Nico was a hard ass towards PR, but I stand corrected. Nico was right. Yeah.
bro, half of the books behind me are about psychology. I have certificate in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I've spent more than a decade studying the way people are, just talking to them and see how they react so I can gauge their reaction, how they feel about what I'm saying. This is why I was so successful at sales, because I cared. Everything he did was wrong. Everything that he did was wrong. Just the way, look at this video. That's why I brought it up. Look how smug he looks on that video. He looks like a pretentious fuck that has nothing. He doesn't even have a fucking job. Like,
no, he's acting like he's in the fucking. He's owed it. He's owed it. Like, he should be fucking thanking his lucky stars the party didn't dump him when he gave up a giant ass lead. But if they decided to keep him and kick someone else out who did earn a seat, he should be fucking acting appropriately. He should be out there saying, I appreciate the fucking trust that you have given me. I will do everything I can to earn it from now until that by-election. You won't turn that TV on without seeing this face out there. Where is that? Where's that attitude? That's leadership, man. That's how, you know what, to use an army analogy, because I used to be in it, he's the general who's telling everyone to storm the machine gun trenches while he's back 5 miles behind the front lines in his cushy fucking hotel. There's other leaders, there's other generals who could be out there, but they're saying storm the machine gun nest, and they're leading the fucking charge. That's who you want to follow. That's a leader.
David Bexty. I would take a David Bexty after the speech that I posted everywhere that he did he gave last week. I would take that guy in a fucking heartbeat. I would have voted for a guy like that. And I have some people on my Instagram, because the video's going viral, and I have multiple comments. They're like, hey, he's in my writing. This is exactly why I voted for him. He just sounded great. And everything that I've heard from people out there is that him and his son are actually cool. So
yeah, why don't you show that video? Because it does fit.
I have no clue what it's about. I've never watched it. It's just, look at that smug face. I wanted to smack him, but let's play it.
Oh, I can't hear it. Wait, Drew, did you mean this video or did you mean the Bexby video? Because he says here there are a lot of people behind him. I'm not sure if he means literally behind him. I was thinking, like, just to show the contrast, like what a leader should sound like.
No, he wrote that. Wrote that. I think it was prior, because I'm telling you, man, there's massive accounts out there that I had relationships with.
I don't understand.
Unfollowed me and stopped talking to me and answering my texts because of how I spoke against Pierre Poliev. Yet I was proven to be right. Right there, I'm proven that I was right all along. So let me play it, just because
let's play the video.
The nicest stash in the business is asking. That's why. It's because I'm just jealous of your stash.
Recent election, to convince people that they were no longer the party of reckless spenders, they abruptly replaced a leader who looked like a reckless teenage trust fund baby with a stern-looking banker. The jet black, carefully groomed hair replaced the uncombed surfer dude hairstyle. The corporate dress shoes replaced the childish running shoes. The MBA lingo replaced the dreamy rhetoric. The spend less, invest more slogan replaced the budgets will balance themselves rhetoric of Justin Trudeau. Wow, what a change. But
Sylvia's saying something, because now I realize which video that is. I saw people laugh at him for it. Exactly for that. Wait till he uses the cup.
That tiny little cup.
No, there's no coffee in it.
Oh,
he's gonna be.
So everything's fake. Everything's fake about this guy.
I haven't seen the video, but I think he swings it around, and not. But just look at the way he's moving it. If there was coffee, it'd be spilling.
Okay.
did the numbers back up the symbolism? Well, we found out this week.
Oh, see?
Prime Minister Carney tabled his first spending package before the House of Commons, called the main estimates. The government has to...
Oh my Jesus! A fake drink? A fake drink?
Fake. He is like. Have you ever seen Hollywood actors? That is one thing that no actor is capable of doing. You cannot drink out of an empty cup. I don't care who you are. You could be Denzel Washington. I can still tell that there's nothing in that cup. Look at that. Oh, motherfucker. How fake can you be? Let me replay this.
but you know, like, all right, go ahead.
I'll go for it. No,
I was gonna say, like, you know what? Like, this is what drives people nuts. At the end of the day, it's a fucking coffee cup. Nobody cares. But the problem is, I guarantee you, they had 3 or 4 consultants who spent an hour and a half discussing the coffee cup, and they're like, "No, we've ran this through focus groups. You get 12.4% more approval when you have a coffee cup." Like, it's just nonsense. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Just be out there, fucking put your phone on, say, "Ask me anything. I'm here to lead. Ask me anything." And that's like, be a real fucking person. He's like a robot. He wants us to elect an AI robot, and I'm not even conservative. And I'm angry. Like, this is nonsense.
But you voted for it.
Yeah, I know. It's
you
ridiculous.
voted for
I'm embarrassed. I'm
coffee
embarrassed.
cup.
Fucking this AI coffee cup fool.
Let's continue this.
It's probably not even
no,
a
I'm
real
just
coffee cup. They're probably like, fake it, and
No.
we'll AI the coffee cup in later, because they couldn't decide on what kind of coffee cup. We got to run it through some more simulations.
One thing that I'm noticing as we're going right now, do you see how he looks a bit more pudgier around the stomach too? Like during the campaign, he was looking more like...
He's been eating his feelings lately.
Oh boy, that coffee cup is full of something else.
Main estimate. See, government has to get the approval of the House of Commons to
Just
do
off camera. Just off camera, he's got to
He doesn't even swallow. Look,
Yeah.
look, he doesn't even swallow. Look.
get the approval of the House of Commons to do any spending.
It's not even
So they put forward
just
this
off
package,
camera. He had a consultant
and
who was saying,
it will
"Drink the
stack up against the
drink the
previous Trudeau
Like,
spending.
it's all managed. It's all stage managed. Everything.
It's not as bad as Trudeau's. It's worse to start with. We know that he inherited a
It's
morbidly obese
worse.
Liberal government, and he promised to, quote,
Okay,
spend
I'm
less.
done.
But his
Yeah,
first-
they did that 10 times. They did 10 cuts of "it's worse," and they ran it through a fucking three or four different focus groups, and they all figured out this is the correct one. And it's just, that's the kind of inauthentic politicians politicking that people are just so sick of. And he wonders why he loses. He wonders why he lost so bad.
Bro, meet the caption. Meet the man who helped bring the biggest energy project in Canada's history to the Indigenous community. Look,
The fuck?
how you can tell that this video and this video were literally recorded one after the other. They just, I do this for a living, so I understand it. They took the fucking tie off and they changed the angle. That's why he's
Messed up his
aiming
hair a little bit.
No, but see, it looks like they were published on the 29th, 31st. See how there's a frame there that shouldn't be there. There's shoes in the background. This is a no-no. You don't, I tell you all the time, bro, close the door behind you. Because do you know what I mean? So, man, it's really, but just.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be introducing you to someone very special today. Part of
my name.
Yeah, you know that.
Hill.
Yeah, he probably only said they probably filmed like
Kitimat.
every clip we see for the next 3 weeks is probably filmed in this one afternoon. It's like, guys, I'm only giving you 2 hours. That's it. I'm too busy doing nothing.
Hi.
Like, does he look like a leader to you? Like, just look at those videos. Is that what you want from a leader?
Well, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing about him that I see that would
see the fucking rabbit hole you put me down, you son of a bitch. You had to mention it, huh? Fuck. Take
a couple of these comments.
Sorry, guys.
Here.
I apologize for in the mic. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we'll start at the Sasquatch when he said Nico was correct on Polyev. So he says,
can you repeat that again? Just repeat that. I'm just
so yeah, this question. Oh yeah, you being right. You're like, yeah.
When your wife says that you're right,
yeah.
What
was that? Yeah.
You did this. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's my bad ear. Could you say it in my good ear?
Hold on. Can you repeat that first?
So he says, he's not capable of handling off the script questions, and that's a sign of not a real leader. It signs he doesn't believe in anything. I guarantee you, me and Nico, and probably most of you people here, we don't need to have scripted questions. You ask us about something we believe in, we can tell you what it's going to be. You may not agree with it.
To hurt people's
you may not agree with it, but we can tell you what we stand for. And most real people who actually believe in things can. And that's why it's so, for a leader, it's a political leader these are the people who you really want to believe have like values and stand for something. To have them not stand for anything, like it's just such and then expect exactly, like that's probably the best thing you could say. And not only that, he's just so smug and entitled to this. He believes he's owed this seat. He doesn't even have to work for it, despite just fucking giving up the worst loss, the worst lead in fucking Canadian politics history. Sylvie, I think I loathe him more than JT. Well, yikes. Tell us, don't hold back.
You know, the thing is that, but I understand what her point is, because Justin Trudeau, I knew exactly what he stood for. I knew what he would do before he did it. He played half of the population in Canada. Yeah. Don't be fooled here. He lost by a few 100,000 votes. He didn't lose by 10 million votes. No. It was 8 million point something for both of them. They were fucking close. The more I see this, the more he disappears, the more he feels entitled like he shows in those videos, the more I feel that I was right, that he was just controlled opposition. He was just there to make sure that Carney won. This is all I'm seeing right now. And
yeah, I don't know.
There's a good reason why an Andrew Scheer got chosen. Because, I was wondering, why the fuck did they take a guy like Andrew Scheer and put him as the leader? Like, he is, my son, when he's born next month, the type of poop that's going to come out is going to be liquid. That's how firm Andrew Scheer is. Yeah. Why didn't they take, even, I saw some of the comments of the people that don't necessarily seem to like David Bexty. But let's agree that nobody's perfect, that you might not like him. No problem. Tell me that he wouldn't have been better than Polyev. Tell me that a guy that would have made speeches like the one he gave last week. Same thing for Aaron Gunn. There's another guy that I saw a speech from that was amazing. That any of those guys wouldn't have done better than Andrew Scheer as the leader.
I just don't
understand. Why are we not giving a young conservative a voice? Like a guy from Alberta that's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm tired of this fucking bullshit. It's time for us to wake the fuck up and bring this country back. No, you have Andrew Scheer that votes yes in favor of the speech of the throne. Like, are you fucking kidding me? He was laughing. I got a video for you guys. He's in the back.
Yeah, I don't understand how you could lose like that, lose a lead like that, and not be properly, have the decency to be humiliated. Have the decency to say to your followers,
please fake it.
Yeah, to say to your followers, you know what, this was on me, because that's what leadership is. It doesn't even matter if it's actually on you. That's how leadership works. When things go right, you get the credit, even if you didn't really deserve it. And when things go wrong, you take the blame, even if you don't really deserve it. But after a loss like that, and they still managed to do these shenanigans out in Alberta. They got a guy who did earn his seat step down, and I don't know what he's got going on in his life, but that's a pretty significant job. He was one. This term would have given him his pension. He gave that up so that Polyev could swing in there, even though he just had this embarrassing loss. And all he did was slap him on the back and say, "Hey, thanks, buddy," and then he disappears. Like, have the decency to be embarrassed. Have the decency to be like, I've lost your trust, and I will spend every single fucking day from now until August earning that back to prove to you that I am the leader that you think I am. Where is that? He's sitting here with his smug fake cup swinging around, shows his face once a week, doesn't talk about anything about the actual shit that's going on, doesn't talk about the bills that are getting passed, Bill C2, where there's some genuine, like, this isn't even just, I don't think he needs to pick at something that there's nothing there. If there's nothing there, he doesn't have to make it up just to pretend he's against it. But there's genuine issues with that bill. The civil liberties organizations are genuinely concerned. Like, where is this? Where's the leadership, Pierre? I can understand liking him before. I even understand saying, oh, well, the loss wasn't his fault. But if you said that after the election, I don't understand supporting him now. You had to have wanted to see him go out there and show a little bit of drive, a little bit of humility, a little bit of, you know what, I'm going to earn that trust that you have given to me. And I don't see any of it. Just entitlement. He expects that guy was going to step down from his seat. He expects he's going to win that seat. And I don't see any leadership. And as anyone knows how leadership works, it flows downhill. If you have weak leadership, you will have a weak organization. And that's exactly what we see in the CPC. Detective Gaines, he says he should have retired and let a new leader take the mantle. He's so entitled, just wants to keep his mansion and house staff. Yeah, that's a great point.
During the campaign to conservative people. So imagine how they liked me.
Yeah.
To me, it's absolutely insane. I'm going to make sure that I make a video about what we're talking about right now, because this needs to be put out there, because this is bullshit. I didn't even fucking realize that this was going on until you said crazy. Something I did not realize. In my head, like, I totally forgot about him.
That shows how weak he is. Like, he disappeared and we didn't even notice. You know what I mean? That shows how insignificant you are. If you can disappear and nobody even notices you're gone. Gaines says Pierre embodies everything that is wrong with the CPC right now. Yeah, I mean, organizations will always reflect their leaders. That is why leadership is so important.
Like Robin, changing his writing to majority liberal for two, and you know what? They played with him. The same thing with the 91. I saw another 91 elector on writing.
Yep.
I agree, but at the same time, right now there is nothing stopping him for creating content. There's no way that he can ever convince me that he doesn't have the time. He doesn't have a fucking job right now, and he has a fucking pension. So why the fuck is he not day in, day out on his fucking cell phone creating content, reminding people that he is the leader? He has all the time in the fucking world. Obviously, your wife is not working because she was with you on every single piece of content that you produce. How about you ask her to hold your cell phone?
Yeah, do something
so that you can record. Like, come on, you have no fucking excuses, and yet, where is he to be found? So I'm not ripping into you, Robin. I'm sorry, but Rob sent me down this fucking lunatic rant that I'm losing my shit because you know what? I fucking wish I would have been wrong. I wish that guy would have showed me that I was wrong. That would have given me hope, maybe, in the Conservative Party. But he confirmed everything I was saying. He's so soft that at the first rain, he disappeared. He's like snow. He's just like snow in April.
Yeah.
There's a bit of rainbow.
Oh, it's good. And, you know, we heard all the excuses after the election, like, oh, he had so many, you know, they put 91 electors into his bill or into his writing. Okay, sure. All that. Okay, let's just say that we agree that it wasn't his fault, okay? But you know what's not his fault now is what he's doing now. He's coasting. He's not doing anything. Have the decency to understand you let people down, and they have graciously given you another chance, and you need to prove yourself worthy of that chance. And that is leadership, and I don't see any of that.
This one's for you, and this hold on. This one's for you, and it's fucking hilarious. Sylvie's telling you it's sort of like Nico streaming and Rob wasn't there. Would we notice? She's basically saying you're my bitch. You're like my wife, motherfucker.
No, you notice because you're like, hey, where's all the intelligent commentary gone? It's just fucking some bald Yahoo fucking screaming about Polyev.
I wouldn't be talking about Polyev. I'd be talking about what I thought we'd be talking about today. Hey,
well, we're getting there. We're getting there. We got a couple more comments.
Robin, no, I get it. I just can't get on the page to destroy the only leader that has been able to fight back on his liberal. What has he done? Like, Robin, tell me, what has he done to fight against the liberals? What has he done? Please tell me, because I don't see it.
I think they need fresh blood. I think fresh blood would have definitely someone young, someone hungry, someone that Bexby guy. Just based on that speech alone, I think he'd do a lot better than.
There's three. This is the third conservative leader in a row that doesn't get elected. Third one. They were all softer one from the other. All softer one from the other.
Yep.
Why are they not picking somebody that has bite? Why are they not picking somebody that is not scared to actually stand up for something? Why? because when I told him that he should have stood up, he didn't. And now he has all the right now, he has all the chances. He could talk about, how many content creators, and I'm talking people with massive accounts, text me and just say, oh, bro, you should see how he is behind closed doors. He's not the guy you see on No, but hold on. He's not that way. He doesn't want to lose the election. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? Thank you for confirming that he is not the leader I want. Clearly, he doesn't have the balls to do it in front of the camera. But he has the chance right now to stand up for whatever he wants. He's not at risk of losing anything. Alberta is never going to disagree with him being a conservative. He's probably not conservative enough for Albertans where he's going to be trying. So, it's just...
Memorino says, after seeing that coffee cup video, I am suspecting that we're seeing AI created video and we're just being played. And obviously, Nico is having some technical difficulties.
I forgot to turn on the fan on my camera, and it just...
Oh, okay. He'll jump back on. It's all right. There's a few comments I'll take until you get sorted out. I don't know. Do you think that was AI? I almost feel like if it was actually AI, the fake coffee sip might look a little more real.
He's just that bad.
Yeah, but the fact that it's funny because I was saying the guy seems like a robot. The fact that he looks like an AI, but it's actually him is I think not a good sign. There's much charisma there. Sasquatch says, hater or lover, as far as I can see, the only leader I see in Canada is Danielle Smith. Americans know her more than anyone else, and the overall opinion of her, she loves her country. I think she seems like she has leadership to me. I don't think she would become the Conservative Party leader because she's obviously got her plate full over there. And I don't know what she's going to do, but let's say hypothetically, if Alberta does separate, I suspect she'll probably have a major role in the new government that they form over there. So I don't think she wants to deal with Canadian federal politics, but she's the only real leader I see on the Conservative side that I think would be like a strong, decisive leader.
They're all going to have problems. At the end of the day, you cannot name me one single person that I could look at and say, I would vote 100% for that person. I'm going to disagree with something. I don't even agree with everything. I've said this before, but I don't even agree with everything I've said a year ago. My opinion will always evolve with time as it gets hopefully wiser. I'm hoping, at least that's the goal. It's just, but at the end of the day, I'm not seeing what I should have be seeing from a guy like Pierre Poliev. I like Smith more than any other leader right now, premier-wise. She's the only one I would maybe vote for, but I can't say that I know as much as I probably should if I was an Albertan, for example. Because a guy like Jason Lavigne is going to be aware of her a lot more because he's been around her forever. Yep. You know what I mean? So I don't know enough, but from what I know, if I had to vote for one, it would be her. But it saddens me to see that I was right about Pierre Poliev, and he is as soft of a leader, just like I knew he was. And yet, people are going to be pissed off. People were pissed off at me. Like, I lost people I actually respected over this during the campaign and after the campaign because I did not submit to King Poliev in the making. Just because I had the how dare you? You cannot attack the PCP. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, he's the phrase "soft like puppy shit." I think fly.
Don't insult the puppies, bro. Don't insult the puppies.
Also, Memorino, good to see you again. Haven't seen you for a little while. Appreciate you back, sir.
Can we finish on the video? Like,
yes,
we'll drop this.
Yep.
I made a
because we'll never get out.
No, and I think that unfortunately there's a lot of people that feel the same way as we do. So
yes.
I'm
just looking down, it looks like there's a lot. Yeah, it shows the video. Actually, before you do that, I'll just jump into the quick pitch, guys. If you are watching this for the first time, either on X, if you're on X, you can support us by liking or sharing the stream there. But with that said, if you can jump over to YouTube, as you see the comments down on the bottom right, that's where all the action is there, and you'll be able to get involved in that conversation over there. That's definitely the best place to follow the show. While you're over there, if you like what we do, if you appreciate the show, if you think there's a space for it, if you're just entertained and you want to support us, then you can become a member. It is for the low price of $2.99 a month. That will help support the show. It will give you full access to the Discord server, and you can be part of the help us build this community that we're doing here. You yourself can be a political orphan. So let's with that.
I have a video of Andrew Gunn. Somebody in the comment. I lost
Aaron
the
Gunn.
comment.
I don't even know who this is. Who is he?
I made a video about him this morning, actually, about one of his speeches. So I'll show it. But before, I was just looking at what Aaron. That's what we need. Somebody that's polarizing. We need somebody with balls. We need somebody that's going to say what needs to get said and not apologize for hurting people's feelings. That's what the liberals got. The liberals in Carney got somebody that's polarizing. Like or dislike Carney, he's polarized. He did exactly what the liberals needed. He needed somebody to look the part, and he played it. We got soft, poopy Pierre Poliev. Before I just show the video, like, who the fuck? I had to Google who the fuck Denis Lemieux is. He's a Canadian politician who was elected to represent the riding of Chicoutimi. So you're basically telling me I sound retarded. Thanks a lot, asshole.
Robin, have a great day. Hopefully you still listen on your drive.
So here is Andrew Gunn. Aaron Gunn.
I'll just take this one quick because I believe this is a new commentator. I believe this is your first time, Tom. Thank you for the comment and thanks for listening. Tom says, Carney is brutal, absolutely poor leadership so far, lies and non-accountable. Pierre is awesome and shall rule. Well, it's certainly a take, and we appreciate.
You missed a good portion.
We appreciate all of the comments, all the takes, and hopefully stick around because as you'll see, we don't always agree here, but your opinion is going to be respected, and you'll get pushed back on it for sure, and you can push back on us, and somewhere along the middle, we'll land on the right spot.
Explain to me how, Tom. Explain to me, because I'm the conservative of the two, but I'm a conservative with a small c, not a big c. Like, I'm a lot more right-leaning than the liberal conservatives that we have here in Canada. But why do you think Carney's brutal? I agree. I totally agree with you. He's brilliantly evil. He is a very smart guy, but he is evil as shit. I'm reading his book right now. But why do you think that Pierre is awesome and shall rule or even deserve to rule, considering that he's nowhere right now? Until Rob said something, I completely forgot that he wasn't there. Like, I completely forgot. Yeah. I don't sound like a conservative. Okay, sure. Why? So what's...
I did just how long have you been listening for, Tom? Like, I'm wondering if you caught the piece where we were just kind of like, because we were talking about how 10 minutes ago how Poliev, like, okay, he had this giant loss, right? Like, all the excuses are out there. I've heard them all. Let's say we accept them. What's the excuse for not being out there and having his face on our TV screens and our phones every single fucking day? Like, where is the guys? I know I lost your face. I know I lost. I appreciate you giving me the second chance, and I will do everything in my power to deserve that chance that you've given me. Right now, he sounds entitled and lazy. Like, where is he speaking about Bill C2? Where is he speaking about the throne speech? I don't see any of it.
And he's also saying Pierre is honest. Bro, just scroll, literally rewind a few minutes. We showed a video where he's talking into the camera with an empty cup of coffee, and he fakes drink in the middle of his very bad speech. Honest? Really? And I can tell you from behind the scene, I know people that worked on his campaign that reached out to me personally because I was talking against Pierre Poliev during his campaign, calling him not conservative enough, that he needed to stand up for what we believed in as conservatives. And they told me, those people told me that he is not like that in real life, that in real life, he stands up for women. He doesn't want men in women's sports. He does not like the trans agenda, that he actually stood for conservative values. Yet, he didn't do that in front of the camera. And now that he has the chance to do it, because he doesn't have a job at risk, he's jobless right now. Plus, he has a pension, so he doesn't have to worry about money. He's still living in a space that's paid by the taxpayers. So he has nothing to lose. Yet, where is he? He didn't talk about Bill C2 that we talked about yesterday, and we're going to have a lawyer on the show tomorrow to talk about stuff that actually matters. It's bipartisan at this point. What the liberals are trying to pass is fucking insane.
Yeah, Tom, I think you kind of jumped in just like I promise you, if you stick around, you'll see. So, guys, we're actually seeing some new faces here. So, just the brief format. I am the liberal, the common sense one that's sort of disgusted with the left right now. I voted for Polyev. Nico is the conservative. He's probably he didn't vote for Polyev because he thinks he's not conservative enough.
No.
But I guarantee you, you're not gonna see Nico defend Mark Carney around these parts.
Oh, balls.
No, that's not ever gonna happen. But yeah, as Joe
Who
says,
said Carney and honesty? I'm just confused because
well, I think he thought you were defending Carney when you
reading
were saying,
is, bro. Never underestimate your enemy. I got books that were written by Hitler. Does that mean I support him? No. That just means I want to understand the type of person that he was so that I can see the next one coming. If you haven't read Values by Mark Carney, you have no idea how bad it's going to get. You have no idea. He says it black on white in his book, exactly what he's going to do to Canada. So I'm reading it because I want to understand the person I see as my enemy, the person I see as the biggest threat to Canada. I want to understand his mind. And unfortunately for us, he's smart. Unfortunately, he's fucking intelligent, unlike Justin Trudeau. Unfortunately, and that scares the shit out of me. So,
Almer Steph says, had it not been for Trump, media, and foreign interference, Polyev would have won. So I agree with you. And that's, I heard that all kinds of times after the election for why it was, why it wasn't his fault. And let's say, for the sake of argument, we accept that. Why is he not out there showing the conservative faithful that they bet on the right horse, that he's out there saying, look, guys, I know I lost. I'm the leader. It's on me. Like, because a leader can't say it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Even if it's not his fault. It's not how leadership works. The leader always takes responsibility. He should be saying, it's on me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the trust that you have given me in continuing to allow me to be the leader. And I'm going to make sure from now until that by-election that I'm going to do everything I can to earn that trust you placed in me. You're not going to be able to turn on your TV without seeing my face. You're going to get sick of my face. I'm going to be out there working. I don't see that. I see him posting pictures of him with his kids. That's great. But he should be out there actually working too. He should be talking about Bill C2. He should be talking about the throne speech. Like today, when I said, where has been Polyev been? He's disappeared. Nico was like, holy shit. He has. Yeah. Like, if you're so insignificant that you're the leader of the party, you can disappear and nobody's noticed. Like, that's a problem.
And to go to Elmer Steph, if you want to leave the comment up.
Yep.
This is an excuse, because at the end of the day, let me ask you this. Do you want a leader that can deal with the unforeseen, what we didn't see coming, with curveballs that are going to deal with whatever comes up on a daily basis?
Right? They're always going to happen.
This happens on every single fucking election. There's always interference. There's always other people from other country that are going to have an opinion. Social media makes it possible for everybody to have an opinion and to diss you. But at the same time, instead of him using this to his advantage, he chose to use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
That was on him. There's always going to be interference, and mainstream media are leftists in Canada. We don't have the equivalent of Fox in the US. We don't. We just don't. As much as I dislike Fox, as much as I do MSNBC, at least they're clearly supporting their own candidates. We don't have that in Canada. But, a big fucking but, he had Patrick Bet-David wanting him on his podcast. Joe Rogan wanted him on his podcast. Alex Jones, I can understand why he didn't do that one. Like this one, we can throw it with the bathwater if you want. He had Tucker Carlson. So between those three guys, they probably have 100 million people. Their audience is probably bigger than Canada's audience. Yet, if you look at the numbers, it's been a while since I looked at them, but something like 36% of voting Canadians, anybody above 18 years old, have watched at least one podcast in the past month. That means that he could have reached people that listen to podcasts. And even if the audience would have been mostly American, I've never seen, as somebody that creates content for a lot of Americans, I've never seen the Americans be so interested in our politics. Ask Sasquatch, that's in our comment. He's here every day, he's an American, but he loves our reality show that he calls Canada. So I've never seen so many Americans be interested in Canadian politics, and that would have allowed him a platform where he could have spoken for hours at a time, speak exactly what he wanted to do, not be fucked, not be trapped, not be wrongly edited after like mainstream media would do to him here. He had all the opportunity to actually go on shows where they would have let him speak. They would have allowed him to say whatever the fuck he wanted, and he wouldn't have had to worry about being, spinned in a way that it's not good for him, because that's what mainstream media will do to him. But he had all the chances to put his face out there. He still does right now. What's stopping him right now from going to those platforms? I guarantee you, like I said earlier, if he wrote on his X right now, he has 1.4 million followers just on X. If he just wrote to say, guys, I'm looking for platforms to be out there. I want to have those conversations that I didn't get a chance to have during the campaign. I'm still here. I want you guys to remember that I'm here. Have me on. Just let me know. Reach out to whatever info at whateverpierrepoliev.com and we'll schedule something. He has all the tools to do it. He had them during the election. He chose not to use them. It shows weakness. Why didn't he do it? Because his own campaign has admitted. I can't remember what the name of the woman is, but there's a woman that took care of his campaign that was the face of, that was managing his image during the campaign. And she admitted that they refused to go on those platforms. They didn't tell us why. Because you'll never be able to convince me that somebody that is confident and that knows that he can talk for 2 hours about what he believes in would have been able to not go, that would have refused to go on those platforms. To me, it showed weakness, as in he wasn't ready to talk about the real things, and he was scared he'd say something that he can't take back.
Yeah.
And all the content, sorry, one more thing, I'm sorry. All the content he could have created. Imagine having 10 hours of content between Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, and Patrick Bet-David. Maybe 6 hours. Let's not lie. 6 hours of content for your team to go through and just snip, make reels, blast that everywhere in social media. That's what I do for a fucking living. Imagine him. He has a full team. I'm just alone. I'm just one guy. And I don't have Joe Rogan calling me. I don't have fucking Tucker Carlson calling me. I don't have Patrick Bet-David calling me. But I had one platform, Jubilee Media, that asked me to be on their platform. Rob sent me a video where I have 2 million views on a piece of content some unknown created off that show. That's me talking. 2 million. Imagine if he did that with the platform that he has. He could have reached millions of people and get to explain to people what he stood for, not having to go through mainstream media in Canada.
Yeah, as Nick says, he says, Bumpy Johnson, I think we all got frustrated by how the Conservative Party played it safe. Yep. Bumpy responds, Nick, personally, I saw their assured victory mentality alienate local CPC members who have worked decades on campaigns by disqualifying a strong local candidate and appointing a big money donor. Yeah, that just demoralizes people. They don't like this attitude of, oh, of course we're going to win. And they had that throughout the election and they lost, and they still have it. Pierre still has this assured victory mentality. He should be assuming he's going to lose that seat. He should be acting like it.
Why is he not campaigning over there right now?
Yeah, I mean, but now that said, with Elmer,
why is he not kissing baby? What is it? Kissing,
shaking babies and kissing hands.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, but Tom and Elmer, haven't seen you guys post here before, so hopefully you guys.
Tom is gone. He said,
whatever. He might still be listening. Hopefully you guys stick around. Comment again. As you can see, there's things get a bit heated, but yeah, we don't always necessarily agree. But we're always going to try
this
to
last
find
one before we switch if
ground.
you want to.
Lauren, again, another new face. Welcome. She says Pierre pulled amazing numbers during the loss because the NDP throwing the election. Okay, but those are all reasons. Why is he not working his ass off from the election to now? Why do we barely see him? Why is he not talking about Bill C2? Why is he not? It's just ensured. It's just entitlement. This idea that he's entitled to that seat. He's going to win it, of course, and that turns people off. I understand all the reasons why he lost, but that was still embarrassing. That was still an embarrassing loss. He's still the leader. There has to be some aspect of the buck stops here. That's how leadership works. You take the credit when things go right, even if you don't deserve it. And you take the blame when things go wrong, even if you don't deserve it. And you say when you lose and your followers pick you back up, You say, I cannot thank you enough for the trust you've placed in me. I will spend the next 3 months working my ass off to prove that your faith is not misplaced, to earn the trust you placed in me. That's a leader.
And, Clown World is bringing
Sylvie
saying not enough immigrants in his writing to pander to. Obviously, she's talking about Pierre Poliev, but she's bringing the word of immigration. Can you name me one single conservative out there, even common sense liberals like Rob, that doesn't see a problem with immigration?
No, I do.
Yet, why was that not discussed at all? I don't see him talking about it right now. I didn't see him talking about it like it was a massive problem during the campaign either. Why? Why didn't he touch that? Yet this is bread and butter for conservatives like me. Bread and butter. Immigration, we have a problem. We need to fucking fix it. Jamil Giovanni brought it up. Conservative MP out of somewhere in Ontario. I just can't, near Toronto. He brought it up and I couldn't agree with him more. Like, thank fucking God you got a conservative that have balls to talk about immigration as let's fucking stop foreign worker temporary visas. Why was that not something that Pierre Poliev drilled left, right, and center? That is his base right there. Fuck the liberals. They're not going to vote for him no matter what. Mainstream media is never going to endorse him. So why the fuck pander to them? Pander to your base and the people like you, Rob, that's always been a liberal that said, you know what? I'm done with the liberals. I cannot vote for the liberals. I'm going to vote for Pierre Poliev. Do you honestly think Trump won in the US because people really thought that he was the best? No, they were tired of the fucking Democrat with their bullshit. And they're like, you know what? I'd rather have Trump. They voted for the lesser of two evils. He had that running for him. He was able to get that if he just had the balls to actually speak to the truth that bothers Canadians. Non-partisan issue like immigration. That is one of them. That oil and gas. Why didn't he drill that every single day? We said this during the campaign. He should have had 5 subjects that he talks about every day, and that is all he talks about. To a point where some of his followers are just like, hey, shut the fuck up already. We want to hear something else. No. Drill those.
So, yeah, I just want to take one more comment before we move on, because I wanted to ask Gaines about this. He says he has a full pension. He hasn't accomplished anything except winning the leadership race. It's his time to retire. I'm the opposite of Rob. I usually vote conservative, but last election I went lib. I wanted to ask you what made you make that? Yeah, interesting. What made you make that? Was it just, again, you didn't like Poliev that much? Or was it that the libs won your vote? What was the thought process, sir? And I guess while we wait for that, we can. Do you want to just move on?
Let's talk about what we were supposed to talk about an hour, 15 minutes ago before you sent us down this fucking rabbit hole. But I appreciate the rabbit hole because these are from the heart. Like these was a real conversation, and obviously people are interested in those type of conversation, but you can take some of the comments, bro. Like, we have a bunch of them. Just address them.
I'll take a couple.
That's why we do what we do.
Bumpy says, as much as Poliev and Ford hate each other, they operate very much the same way. It makes you want, maybe that's why they hate each other, right? It's like opposites attract, and people who are like will often repel. Maybe it's
that's probably that they're so alike, unlike food. It's just Pierre Poliev is tired that Ford is eating all the food.
Greg Gunderson says, yep, thanks to Quebec, the East control
100%.
Canada. Oh, yeah.
100.
Yeah.
You're talking to a Frenchie right here. You're absolutely fucking right. You're absolutely right. French people, Quebec, Ontario control Canada.
They managed to work that separation threat from the 90s, and they've gotten really they've worked it to their advantage, and they're not going to like that Alberta is now doing something, especially because Alberta's grievances are actually legitimate. And I don't really believe that Quebec's often were. Gaines, there are tons of immigrants in Alberta too, yet still Conservatives won the most seats. It's a fallacy that immigrants pad the Liberal vote. That's true too. I think that's a big mistake in a lot of what the Liberal immigration plan is, because to me it's pretty clear the whole open borders thing is because they think if they bring people in and they give them lots of shit that they're going to vote for them, and I don't think that's correct. First of all, a lot of immigrants are conservative by nature. Obviously, the Muslim immigrants are. Many of the Indian immigrants are. And even down the states where it's more South American immigrants that are kind of, and Hispanic immigrants that are the bigger demographic, they often skew conservative as well. And the other thing too is most of them aren't stupid. They understand this grift can't go on forever, so they get in there, they get their slice of the pie. They're like, fuck, we got to close the door, because if they keep doing this, if they keep giving people all the free shit they're giving us, eventually someone's going to say no. So I think it's a giant misconception or a giant misplay by the left to assume that just because they bring these people in,
I think you didn't get his message. You didn't get his comment. You didn't read it properly. He's basically saying that there's a lot of immigrants in Alberta, so the conservative still won. So it's a fallacy to believe that immigrants pad the liberal vote. He's saying the complete opposite of what you're saying.
No. Well, he's saying that many of the immigrants are going to vote conservative, and that's true. That's what I'm saying.
But you're wrong, Detective Gaines. You guys don't have a lot of immigrants in Alberta. The main places, and the three main places that they go: Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. That's where they're at. And if you look, last time I checked, Toronto, the Toronto, the GTA, as they called it, the Greater Toronto, you're looking at more than 7 million people. It's probably a lot more now than it used to be. So you're literally talking about, what was it? There's about 19 million people that voted during the last election. Let's call it 20 for the sake of argument.
Yep.
That means that more than a third of them came from one single area in Canada, and they aren't fucking conservative the way you think they would be. Because at the end of the day, they're voting for the people that gave them a handout. Yeah. And even Muslims, there's videos out there of Muslims explaining why they wouldn't vote conservative, they would vote for liberals, because they want the tolerance that the liberals are going to give them. Well, so they will vote. But if you look at the mindset behind it, I've seen some of the videos, I'm like, fuck, I never thought about it this way, but it's actually clever the way that they're saying. And you're right, Cheryl, Ottawa was the fourth one on there. I just named the main three one, and I grew up between Montreal and I spent most of my life between Toronto and Montreal and Ottawa, and you're absolutely right. So, but Vancouver is just a bigger city, Montreal and Toronto too, but those are the top four. And those places, guess what? They're fucking liberal. And even what's Edmonton Center?
Yeah.
Edmonton Center 1. That's the only, I think it's the only liberal riding in all of Alberta.
Yeah,
it's Edmonton.
So those are good points. Joe says this podcast.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Made me realize.
Sorry, say that again.
So am I good?
Hold on. Say that
again. Joe says this podcast made me realize the incompetence and ineptness of the Canadian Conservatives is parallel to the Dems in the U.S. Yeah, I think that's. Yep,
wow, sure. Joe. Mic drop. You can leave now. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, so here's Gaines answering the question we asked him. I voted Liberal because I can't stand Polyev. I will admit I was swayed by elbows up, Canada first, anti-Trump messaging. Look, I mean, fair play, right? We're all trying to get it right. We all make mistakes. We all sort of regret our votes. We all make votes we don't regret. And I don't even know if you regret your vote. Maybe you don't. But I
didn't vote for Pierre Polyev because I can't stand him either. But I definitely didn't vote for the Liberals. But this is what's funny, and this is why I'm laughing, because you and I both didn't vote for him because we didn't fucking like him. We didn't believe in him.
Yeah, for a different reason.
You went left. I just stayed home.
But yeah, no, it's all that's one of the things I really like about the shows. We have people from all sorts of different perspectives, and no one's afraid to say how they actually feel. It's going to be respected here. We're all just kind of trying to get it right.
Don't be afraid to tell us how you feel.
Don't be afraid.
Robbie's there for you.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all nuts for posted this stream. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that.
You want to get into this?
Yeah, let's
finally get into the subject of the day, which was yesterday. So yesterday, the Carney government survived the first confidence test as the throne speech was adopted. Blows my mind. This is what all started this, but this kind of shows that Pierre Polyev being there or not, Andrew Scheer's is as soft as Pierre Polyev is. So here's a video. I just found it interesting. Like, this is about the only video I could find online. It was reposted by a few different people, but it just shows how the vote went yesterday. But what I find interesting is look at the the House of Commons. It looks empty. It looks like nobody's there. It's very, look at this. Like, it just seems like this is the stream that we got. So let's listen to it.
Mr. Speaker, there have been discussions among the parties, and if
Like,
you
look at
seek
the
it, I
back.
believe you'll find the
There's
announcement
nobody there.
for the following motion, that notwithstanding any standing order or usual practice of the House, A, the address be engrossed and forwarded to His Majesty the King. B, an address be presented to Her Excellency the Governor General, praying that Her Excellency will be pleased to transmit to His Majesty the King an engrossed address, which the Commons of Canada in Parliament assembled adopted in reply to His Majesty's speech at the opening of the first session of the 45th Parliament, and C, the address engrossed and presented to Her Excellency the Governor General by the Speaker.
That's the vote. He
All
just
those
talked
opposed
about the
to
speech of the
honorable
throne.
Members
Oh,
of the
okay.
motion will please say nay.
Andrew Scheer is
Agreed.
talking to
The House
somebody
has
in
heard
the,
the terms of the motion. All those opposed to the
like, he's asked to vote. Look at that fuck. He's not even fucking paying attention. Like, all the people are gone.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is procedural. They already know which way they're going to go. I want to see, just press play and see if anyone said yay. Because he said
No.
anyone who's opposed it says
Oh.
nay. Not one person said nay. Did anybody say yay?
motion will please say nay.
Crickets.
Agreed. The House has heard the terms of the motion. All those opposed to the motion will please say nay.
Crickets.
Carried.
Oh, those fuck. You see what they did, right?
Yeah.
They allowed people to say no because nobody said no. They didn't ask who was in favor.
Yeah.
So nobody needs to expose themselves for being
Yeah,
liberals, although
yeah.
they're
That's weak.
supposed to be conservative.
That's weird.
And I
don't
didn't
get
notice
it.
that when I looked at it, I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
That
I don't.
Andrew Scheer's just in a corner, not even fucking paying attention.
Well,
But
I mean,
look how empty this is. Like,
So, but by the time we see this, like, it's already been decided. This is just the ritual that they do, and I don't understand the decision from a strategic standpoint. Just make them earn it. Like, okay, let's say they could have passed it. I bet they probably could have passed it, but make them fucking do it. That's how it works. You're the opposition party. You make them take every inch. What is the point of just giving the other side victories, easy victories? Let them make hard victories so that the Canadian people can see that there's an actual opposition here. Wahlberg Wisdom says, trying on their Speedos for some other. Yeah, they were too busy getting their Speedos on. Yeah.
like it was empty. Like, what the? You guys, they work for us. They haven't worked in fucking 5 months and they're going back on vacation in like 10 days.
Yeah.
And they're getting paid. The guys in the bench warmers, like the guys in the back, they're keeping the seat warm that will never be addressed to,
Nope.
are making more than 200 grand a year, and they're gonna have a pension.
The backbenchers. Oh yeah.
They can't even be present.
The barebackers.
Like, they can't even be present. Andrew Scheer's talking to that's he's probably shaking hands with a fucking liberal.
Oh yeah.
Can you believe we're getting paid for this shit, bro?
Oh, for sure.
Like-
For sure. Absolutely. Devil's Due says they can vote by apps on the phone. I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they could. But I mean, that's what I mean. Like, the actual visuals here, it's not great. But a lot of this is just ritual. It doesn't, like, by the time they're in there, they know what's going to happen. What does this mean? Gang de Crosseur?
Gang de Crosseur, fucking he's basically Gang de Crosseur, fucking bunch of assholes.
Okay.
Crosseur is more like, somebody that's I don't know the exact, I don't think there's really a good term in English for
English.
Crosseur.
Okay.
But Crosseur is like, somebody that's fucking you, somebody that's literally
is it related to the cross? Because one thing that's always struck me as funny is how French swear words are related to religion, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Tabarnak de calice de Saint-Sacrement de sti, ça pas de calice de
Yeah, it's all religious swears.
Oh yeah, I'm going to hell.
Danny, good to see you, brother. I think this might be your first time commenting. Hopefully you stick around. So yeah, that's this
is just the video. Obviously, I was just man, there's a lot of people that seem to believe like me. The Uniparty took the summer off. They couldn't be bothered voting. That would have meant working this summer. Just the fact that they have the audacity. Forget what happened yesterday. Let's say that there was no chance in hell that the Conservative could align with the NDP and the Bloc, although they did it on Monday. But let's forget that. Let's say that I've been punched in the face too much and I forgot. How do you explain that one to me, that after being closed, after being shut down since December 17, 2024, last year, they're still going on summer vacation?
Yeah,
They're still taking 3 months off after being off for 5 months. Please explain to me how somebody can convince me that this is the right thing to do. There's supposedly an emergency with immigration. Supposedly Trump is destroying our country right now, and you sons of bitches are going to take 3 months off. But there's a crisis. We need to believe that there's a crisis, and you're taking 3 months off after not working for not working for 5 months.
Yeah, and I just okay, like you said, let's say, like, because I don't think they could have actually brought down the government. I don't think that was gonna. I think that was
Sure.
gonna pass. But
No problem.
make them work, earn it. Why give them any fucking thing to do whatsoever? You know what I mean? It's like if you're playing football and you just let the other team take it down to your own 20, like, well, we're gonna have to stop them anyways. Well, yeah, but why let them do it for free? Make them fucking earn it. Smash them up, make them hurt.
Don't Bumpy, don't worry, all the steel and aluminum jobs will be there in the fall.
As well
That's
as
another good
all the
point.
auto sector jobs will be there in the fall. Yes, and of course, it's funny because we know they won't. Also, Ken Nova, I think this might be your first time commenting. Welcome to the show. Hopefully you stick around.
Like it. Make sure to subscribe, bro. Anybody
sure
that's new today, make sure to subscribe.
Guys, lots of new faces, guys. Hopefully you will subscribe and stick around and form part of the community here, the Political Orphans community, for people who are disgusted with it all, like we are. What do you think? You want to jump to
Where
the next
liberals vote for conservatives, or
and
conservatives
conservatives vote for liberals, and
whoa. He's not talking about me. He's talking about
Appreciate-
somebody in the comment. Let's make that
appreciate you,
fucking
sir.
clear. I did not vote liberal, but I definitely didn't vote conservative either.
no,
they're
I mean
not conservative enough for me.
gains.
Yeah, just make
Um,
sure. Just make sure.
Yes. I don't think anyone who's listening thinks that you voted for Carney.
Well, Tom actually seemed to believe that I
Yeah,
wasn't.
that's literally the only 30-second snippet of this entire show that would have maybe let.
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Um,
I wanted to review something, because since we're on the what the fuck is happening with the Conservative Party train today, because it seems like that's all we've been talking about for an hour and a half, and I'm kind of happy. I didn't see that one coming, but that makes me happy to talk about this. I wanted to bring this up. I found an article from Global News this morning, kind of talking about the vote yesterday, and this is the thing, right? There was a way, like, as much as you believe that there was no way for them to win, they still won on Monday.
it was definitely possible.
But that's my point, right? And
Yeah.
you just look at the article from Global News that I think was posted this morning.
Yep.
On the 4th. No, that would have been yesterday.
Well, what do they say? Survives first conference test. That implies that there was a chance he didn't survive.
Oh, yeah, but that's clickbait. That's clickbait.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's what people do. But the thing is that, look at this. This is what I'm saying. 169. You remember there was 4 that didn't show up on the vote. They could have done the exact same thing today. You know that there's people on the liberal side that are not happy with the way it's going right now. So there was, even for them, for a place like Global News to report it as there was a chance of them.
Oh no, don't get me
losing.
wrong. There, of course, there was a chance. I just think when all's said and done, I think it would have passed. But make them earn it. Why give it to them for free? Why give them an easy win? Make them fight for it. That's how politics.
And you know, the NDP said that they would vote against him, and I got an interview.
Yeah, they did.
Of him that was posted this morning, where he's still saying that he would have voted against them. So it is literally the Conservative and the Bloc that decided not to vote at all. Yet, how can you actually say, like, Conservatives had not said how they would vote on the motion, but have publicly criticized the throne speech while pushing the Liberals to present a budget. So they are the one that started this whole shit on Monday, and yet they chose not to vote. It just blows my fucking mind that the only party that said out loud that he would not vote for them is the fucking NDP.
Yeah,
the most socialist fucking party that we have in Canada was in the disagreement with the Liberals. Yet the Conservative Party, the people that are supposed to oppose the Liberals, are shooting the shit in the bottom of the screen, shooting the shit like seems like having a good time.
Well, yeah, and as Bumpy says, if the NDP voted against, which they said they would, the CPC should have pressured the bloc, should have worked on the bloc, pointing to those close elections. You're right, and again, because remember, there's still the Green Party vote that clearly they would not have voted for, and I think it would have been hard to convince all the bloc. But the point is, the vote would have been close. It would have been like, I don't know, fucking 150 to 145 or 140, whatever the numbers are. But the point is, then right there, just by being close, you've gained a small victory because now they look weak. Now the Liberals look weak. Now they look like they're at risk. And as politics goes, man, perception becomes reality. There's so many, like, you're not going to, I don't think you're going to take down the entire government right here in the first vote. No, but that's not how it works. You chip away at them. You chip away here. You chip away there in a few weeks. You chip away there wherever you can. And then 6 months, 9 months down the road, all that chipping away comes to fruition and the government falls. That's how politics works. That's why it's so stupid to just give them an easy win. You should have to make them fucking, if we're going to go back to the football analogy, make them earn every single yard down the field. Don't give them any free yards. Make it hurt all the way down. And eventually, if you play your cards right, all those little chipaways that you've been doing can add up to actual real damage.
It's one of those things where they had the chance to make them work for it.
Yes, and they didn't.
They chose to not even play the game. Just, you know what? No.
And they just look
this week
and neutered.
This only happened because they were able to pass a motion to vote against the budget, to say we are not accepting. It's not even a budget. We're not even accepting your plea for $500 billion. This is what started this whole thing. The Conservatives were able to align with the NDP and the Bloc Québécois 3 days before yesterday. On Monday, they were able to do that.
Yeah.
And they won. There's even Liberals that didn't show up to vote. Obviously, that was a statement. Don't give me this shit that it was all a coincidence. That was a fucking statement. So they can't convince me that they could have won it. If they really wanted to, they would have fucking won that vote. Yet they chose not to. And this is probably the part that pisses me off the most, is I can't be surprised by this. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh shit, I never saw that one coming. I'd have been very fucking surprised, happily surprised, but very surprised if they won. I didn't see that coming at all, right? But I didn't expect them to not even vote. That bothers me. The fact that they didn't fucking try. But you know what pisses me off the most is this. So I saw this post this morning, which is because of the post that I'm going to show afterwards. But basically, I saw this morning. So I see this post, a slap in the face of every conservative voters.
Yeah.
So basically, I agree. When I saw that, this is why earlier I asked you, do you feel like for the people that are in the comment section, because it seems we have a bunch of new people that I've never seen before, do you feel let down? That's the question of the day. Do you think that the Conservatives dropped the ball? And when I saw his post, by the way, that guy gained the followers yesterday. I don't even care how many fucking followers he has. I'm fucking following this guy now because I agree with this. If I would have voted for the Conservatives, that would have been a slap in my face. And as a conservative, not the party, but a traditional conservative, that was exactly what it says, a slap in my face. Well, you know what pisses me off the most are posts like this. And I've said this during the election. Jasmine Lane's about the only person that had the chance to speak with Pierre Poilievre in an interview. That's the only content creator that I can remember that he actually did a podcast with. And I thought it was soft. I thought, if you remember, it was low ball question. It was to make him look good. You weren't there to get questioned. But here's what bothers me the most, is that a content creator like her, and I have no issues with her. I don't know her personally. We've spoken behind the scene as in text, but I don't know her personally. She's not a friend of mine, nor is she somebody I don't like. I'm unbiased as per the person that she is in real life. But a post like that from a conservative voice that has such an audience as her bothers me, because she responded to the one I just showed to.
What's she saying?
But she basically saying, might be unpopular, but let's be real here. None of the party can afford an election right now, financially and politically. What the fuck does that mean? It's not their money. It's our fucking taxpayers' money.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Second point, this wasn't the last confidence vote. More are coming, and the timing will matter a lot more. Okay, cool. So you never get to tell me that there's any type of crisis. From now on, if that's how you believe, and you're entitled to your opinion, you're not allowed to tell me that there's a crisis. Because in my opinion, there's a massive, massive crisis happening in Canada, and it is made by the Liberal. It's not a foreign orange dude from the South that's fucking us. It's our Liberal government that are fucking us. But like, this wasn't the last confidence vote. More are coming, and the timing will matter a lot more. So the NDP, or Socialist Party of Canada, did not want to vote for the Liberal motion or against the Liberals, but the Conservatives didn't do anything, didn't even voice their opinion. Like, Andrew Scheer didn't come out and say, we're fucking against this. Like, what the fuck am I smoking? Am I on crack here? Am I still asleep? What's going on here? Number 3, she says, Carney hasn't faced a single tough debate, no press grilling, no accountability. He's coasting on vibes and buzzwords. So's Pierre Poilievre, but they had the chance yesterday to hold him accountable. Can you imagine if they would have won that vote and they would have triggered another election? I guarantee you, I would be curious to see today. Like, your parents are Liberals. They probably voted. I know my family probably voted for the Liberals, but I don't talk to them.
Yep.
But so do they feel the same? Do they feel as good now as they did?
I haven't really talked to them about it, but I do not think that many rank and file, just regular Liberals, I don't think they're really regretting anything yet. He hasn't really done anything yet. That
I agree.
Yeah. So I think I think that'll come. But he hasn't. I certain, like, what was that point that you're highlighting there? Carney hasn't faced a single.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. I agree with her. He's coasting on vibes and buzzwords, and that is kind of his strength. That's his wheelhouse.
But why? Why do you think that is? Because the Conservatives are not calling him out on anything.
Yes, 100%. Yep. They haven't.
That's my point. I agree with her. I completely agree with her. But whose fault is it? We had the chance yesterday to vote against them, and they said no. They chose not to vote. So the Conservatives are letting Carney coast.
Well, and like, you know what? Okay, so let's just take what she's saying here, for example. Like, she seemed to say right now wasn't the time to bring down the government and get a new election. Let's just say that I agree with that. First of all, I don't think it would have if they actually had a vote, but let's just say they had the power to, and they still think, the timing is right now. You know what you do? You fucking force the vote, and then you make it so that you give them some of your votes, enough so that the government doesn't fall, and that they know, and the Canadian public knows, that the Liberal government only exists at the behest of the Conservative government. Now, I think if you could have brought him down, you bring him down, personally. But if you're the Conservative Party and you genuinely think now's not the time, okay, sure. But go force the vote and then give them votes of your own to keep the government alive. How humiliating would that be for Mark Carney? It makes him look weak. It would humiliate the Liberal Party. But you don't just give him an easy win. You don't give him a free win for no reason.
At the end of the day, no political party can say from now on that there's a crisis. Because this is what pisses me off, is that they keep on telling us that there's a crisis going on. Every single party out there, they see the crisis differently. They have different people to blame for their crisis. But every single party out there has been telling us for months now that there's a crisis going on in Canada. Okay, cool. Why didn't you take the chance to bring down that government if you think you can do better? All it's showing me yesterday is that the Conservatives do not believe that they can do better than the Liberals, or they would be able to win another election. I'm a fighter, bro. I used to fight people just to see if I was tougher than them. You know how many times I came into the ring saying I'm going to get my ass kicked or I'm not good enough to be here? That many. 0. Are you fucking kidding me? If I'm stepping in the rings because I think I can knock your ass into the fucking third row over there, or else why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I training that hard? Why am I losing all that weight? Why am I weighing every single calorie that I'm going to eat? It's the same thing for them. You cannot tell me now that you actually care if you don't care enough to fucking push a vote. How can you convince me that you're in opposition if you're agreeing with them to a point that you decide not even to vote, not even to tabulate, and you don't even need to voice your opinion? There was no nay, there was no, they didn't ask about the yay. So no matter what, they just stepped away and said, you know what? Wash my hands, I'm out. No matter what, that was a pussy move.
Yeah,
Pussy
and I
move.
mean, a wise guy makes an interesting comment here. He says, I think bringing Carney down now would cause a backlash against the Conservatives. And I think there might be something to that. And maybe that's why the Conservative Party thinks, well, because the public might feel like Carney's done nothing to deserve, getting ousted yet. The public is not engaged the way you have to understand. The public is not engaged the way that we are on this show. Most people do not think
obviously
about
not.
They'll think,
I've been doing this for more than 4 years. I fully understand that people
they'll think we just voted and now they're making it so we don't have to vote again. I think that's a valid political consideration. But let's say they've done all the numbers and they think they really don't want to bring them down now. Okay, sure. So then go force the vote and give them some of your MPs so that everyone has the knowledge that their government only exists at the behest of the Conservative Party. It weakens Carney. You haven't brought down the government, so you don't have to deal with that political backlash, but you've also put him on notice that basically you're hanging a sword over his head that you can drop at any time. And there's value in that. There's political value in that.
There would have been, but again, it always comes down to what I've been saying. That means that nobody can tell me there's a crisis. That's my point, right? I don't care who you are from now on. That's you fair. Just admitted to me that your whole campaign was full of shit, that you never cared. And not only that, but you're going to go on vacation in 10 days. This is all they're proving to me, is that there is a uni party in Canada and the Conservative are part of the same party as the Liberal, although they're supposed to be the opposition. And the NDP somehow is playing the David versus Goliath. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Am I on track here? Like, did I smoke too much weed? I don't even fucking smoke. So what the fuck is going on here? But Number 4, the honeymoon won't last. Once reality sets in on the economy, immigration, carbon tax, censorship, it's game over.
Yeah.
Really? So the economy, 10 years wasn't enough. Okay, cool. Immigration, 10 years wasn't enough. Okay, cool. Carbon tax. Cool. Did you know that the carbon tax now, the gas price are back up again? So, cool. Censorship. Bill C2. No, not enough. Like, it's 2 days old. Yet the Conservative have not spoken about this. It's game over. What's game? You mean game over for us as Canadians? Yeah, you're absolutely fucking right. And number 5, Sylvie said that the number 5 is the worst. I haven't read it yet. Conservatives are playing the long game. And when that reality check hits, they've been trying for 10 fucking years.
They'll be ready and stronger.
How long game? How long fucking game are we supposed to play here?
Yeah,
like 10 years is a long fucking time.
It's a real long game. Yeah, just wait, it's coming though. They got them right where they want them.
But Jesus.
All right, what do we got on the next one? I think we should talk about Sean Fraser.
I got a video for you because again, this is
Justice Minister.
See, Joe, as much as you and I have disagreement literally every fucking day, this is where Nico and Rob and I share common ground. The parties are in collusion.
Yeah. Yep.
It's very hard. I knew this before. This is no surprises, but it's just, I like to play the common, I'm trying to play common sense advocate. I'm trying to play the devil's advocate to say, no. There's a chance that I'm on crack, that I'm wrong. Not looking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean Fraser, yes, I got a good video for you. And this to me is going to show you what we can expect from the Liberal government. Because some of the stuff that he says in there, I'm like, oh, bro. I don't know what's worse to tell. So just to give a bit of context, the Justice Minister...
quickly take this one because it's a new commenter, Gracie. I believe this is the first time we've seen you. Welcome, sir. He said, if Trudeau was a great fundraiser, why did Pierre get the most donations to become the leader of the Conservative Party? I think you're referring to the comment up here by Bumpy Johnson. He actually said Trudeau was the greatest fundraiser in CPC history, as in saying, like, it's because of Trudeau
So the him that yes,
Zach Pierre got
That's
so many
actually funny.
donations. Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
just clear that. But appreciate the comment.
Just to
And,
say the Democrats in the U.S. are the best fundraiser for the Trump
for the
campaign.
Republican. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
That is a good point, Bumpy. I disagree with you a lot, but I fucking agree with you on that one. That is well said, sir.
Yeah.
So
give us a context here for Justice Minister Sean Fraser.
Our new Justice Minister, Sean Fraser, apologized publicly for the comment that he made saying that First Nations don't have veto power over resource projects. So basically what he said is that
He said what we all thought. Yeah.
So they do have it, but
yeah, exactly. So he said over the weekend that he said, don't worry, First Nations do not have a blanket veto over energy projects, which is a relief because those are projects of national importance, and you don't want any group, whoever they are, any small group, to be able to veto such an important project for all of the country. But there was a lot of backlash. He had to apologize. So our question here is, does that mean they do have a veto? Because if they don't, which they shouldn't, why are you apologizing to them for just stating the facts?
It's worse. Like I got a 3-minute video that CBC posted.
All right.
I believe it was yesterday, and even just see what he says. It's worse than you think. Not only do they have the veto power, but he had to kiss the ring of the woke god.
Of course he did.
No. Sure it's worse than you. It's worse than you think.
He probably had to do a land acknowledgement first before he even got there.
No, Daddy would have done that before saying that they don't have the veto. No. He's gonna say something that's even fucking worse. Listen to this. The video's 3 minutes long. I'm gonna try not to interrupt and just let it go.
Yep.
I'm gonna try. Land acknowledgement. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't. Oh no, it's got to be. Sorry,
cabinet meeting. I made a couple of.
Can you put it back?
Declaration.
Yeah, why did it take so long? I think there's a lag of the software this weekend.
Yep. All good. Just good there now.
Just shake your head to see if it's the volume's working.
How's the reaction to the U.S. tariffs?
Look, just before I deal with some of the questions, or something I was hoping to share with folks this morning.
You're on unceded land.
A couple of comments about the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Persons, and despite innocent intentions, I think my comments actually caused hurt and potentially eroded a very precarious trust that has been built up over many years to respect the rights of Indigenous people in this country. And it's essential that we work in partnership with Indigenous partners when it comes to issues that engage their rights and demand the respect of the Crown. I had a call last night after National Chief Woodhouse reached out expressing her frustration, and I told her unequivocally that I wanted to apologize for some of the comments. More specifically, what I should have done when faced with the question that I received was rejecting the premise of the question. The UN Declaration, when we come.
Did you hear that? So not only is he apologizing for saying that they don't have veto power, now he wants to not even address the question. So not only do they have the power, but I will not answer your questions anymore.
The question wasn't valid. It's a perfectly valid question. Do the First Nations have veto power over our national infrastructure projects? Can they hold the entire country hostage? I'm not saying don't work with them. Of course we should. But you cannot give any group, any special interest group, veto power over something as major.
Stop questioning it. It's not fair. Stop it.
Yeah. I reject the premise of the question. No. The question's perfectly fine. Do they have a fucking veto power or not? We need to know this because if you remember,
you don't. It's a wrong question. Look within yourself.
Yeah, look within yourself. Yeah, because if you remembered, Mark Carney said, we're going to build pipelines. We're going to build projects. And we all on this show, we call bullshit. We're like, you know what? He's going to say this. And then he's going to say there's going to be some veto by First Nations, or there's going to be some bill, what was it, C69? And he's going to be, hey, sorry, guys, my hands are tied. My hands are tied. You tied them yourself, Mark. You tied your hands yourself.
But let's finish. We're not even halfway through. And
Yeah,
you're
all
already
right.
done.
Yeah, so we
Love it.
already couldn't get through it.
Comes to free, prior, and informed consent is about establishing a process based on respect and partnership as between the Crown and Indigenous peoples. I think sometimes the conversation falls into a frankly dangerous trope that paints a false picture of Indigenous peoples.
Oh my jeez.
So asking the question is dangerous, but did you hear informed consent?
Informed consent. What are we talking about? It's a
I
sexual
didn't
assault
have
now? What are
informed
we talking
consent, but
about?
whoop whoop. You know,
Yeah.
during the whoop whoop era, I didn't get informed consent. I didn't get to have that. I just lost my fucking job. I love how he's just, oh no, but okay, can you stop? We can't have that question be asked now because you're hurting the First Nations feelings.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
And what he's
fuck off.
talking, and he's talking about, oh, that discourse, it paints a picture of, what are you talking about? Do they have fucking veto power or not? It's a perfectly reasonable question. Answer it, Sean. You can tell how uncomfortable he is. Look at him. He's like, he doesn't know what
Yeah,
to
but he's
say.
also 10 feet tall, right?
Yeah, that's true. But he
That's
doesn't know
fucking
what to
awkward.
say. He doesn't know how to, he doesn't, like, he's terrified of offending the wrong constituency. And I don't know if you heard the comments that he's now apologizing for, but that wasn't off the cuff either. He was giving a very specific answer that I'm sure came from Mark Carney. And now this apology is a very specific Mark Carney directed apology too.
But
So
you
let's
won't
try-
see Mark Carney apologize.
No. Let's try to finish.
He'll get his little dudes to do it. Well,
Oh yeah,
in
big
this
dudes.
case, his big dudes to do
His
it
big
for him.
minions.
As being anti-development somehow. In my experience, engaging with Indigenous leaders, their perspective is one of wanting to have their rights respected and wanting to share in the benefits of development. So as we go forward, whether it's on the major projects initiative we'll be working on or any issue that touches on the rights of Indigenous peoples, I want to be absolutely clear that our desire is to work in partnership, and at every stage of the process, from project selection to conditions that may be imposed, we're going to engage, properly consult, and work in partnership to respect the rights of Indigenous people.
Do you still believe that it's not a
Well,
veto?
I think today and going forward, I think I've learned my lesson yesterday. I need to be very clear that we need to reject the premise of that question.
No.
That it,
He's
What a
literally
bunch of
saying to a reporter,
Gobbledygook nonsense.
I will not even answer that question. So
Yeah.
our prime minister is telling Rosemary to look within herself. He's telling people, reporters, hey, let me finish. I'm talking.
Yeah.
When he doesn't want to answer, point final, we're gone. I don't want to answer the question. Now we got mega twat that is just saying to us that we won't. You know what? I refuse to even answer, to even address that question.
Listen, the phrase he just, I'm gonna make a prediction. The phrase he just used, I reject the premise of the question. We're gonna hear
It's
that
a
a
new
lot.
thing.
We're gonna hear
Elbows up.
a lot.
Elbows up.
That's all it's gonna be whenever they don't want to answer. I reject the premise of the question. It's a perfectly valid question, Sean. Like maybe he's just so high up there he can't hear it. But
He
do
can't
they have
hear the regular people?
do they have a fucking veto or not? It's not. Don't try to make this into like a hate thing. It doesn't create hate to ask this question. It's a perfectly valid question, as Bumpy says.
it paints
Actually, we'll get to questions
later.
later. We'll get to questions later.
Yeah.
What the declaration is.
I'm not trying to understand what false picture that you're rejecting.
Well, the question assumes that when we deal with resource development, when we deal with issues that touch on the rights of Indigenous peoples, that we have the government and Indigenous peoples working in opposition to one another. The entire purpose of the concept of free, prior, and informed consent is to establish a process where we're actually working together in a common interest to serve the interests, certainly of Canada, but also to protect and respect the rights of Indigenous peoples.
Who asked you to make?
You did not answer the fucking question.
The reporters smell blood in the water, man.
Oh, no. The next question is, who asked you to apologize?
Yeah, they all know. At least they're in this interview. They're doing their job. I'd like to finish this video though. I'd like to see. I'd like to hear.
Oh, shut the fuck up and we'll finish. I'm just kidding. But you know, we're so bad that people on CBC are questioning them.
Yeah, the
people
CBC is
that are
starting to be
paying the
like,
salary.
yeah.
So CBC salary is paid by those people, and now they're like, okay, excuse me.
Yeah,
Like,
the CBC is like, nah, bro, this ain't gonna fly.
I looked within myself, and
Yeah.
you need to tell me who asked you to apologize.
You can tell they smell blood in the water. And look at this fucking guy, man. He looks terrified. He's terrified he's gonna say the wrong thing, and because he knows Mark Carney's watching, right? He knows this is a performance for Mark Carney, and he is terrified that he's going to say
Carney's
the wrong word.
watching. Up,
Yeah,
man.
Mark's always watching.
He's on a stool somewhere trying to pay attention.
Yeah.
Let's finish this.
All right.
Let's try. There's 30 seconds left.
Who asked you to apologize? Did the
No,
national chief?
nobody.
Entirely me.
I did, and I told her that I would do so publicly soon as well. And this is completely on my own initiative. I've not been asked to do this by anyone. She said that she would appreciate if I would offer some clarity, but this is not coming from anyone within government. This is something I feel compelled to do. I have.
Oh, you're compelled to do it, all right, bud.
No, hold on. Did you hear what he said?
What's that?
She asked him, and I love the look. Look, man, she looks pissed. I like her look, but she's basically asking him, who asked you to apologize?
Yes.
She mentions First Nation. He's like, nobody in government has asked me to apologize. What the fuck do you think that means? The first thing that comes on in your mind is that's what you're like. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. So he basically, if you understand psychology, he basically saying that somebody in government has told him to apologize.
I swear no one in government said, but that's where did that come from? We didn't.
Wow.
we never asked that.
So listen to that again. Like just listen to what he says.
It's just a gobbledygook.
He's like, whoa,
he's terrified.
Government asked me. I was asking about the First Nation. I mean, First Nation.
That wasn't the question. And you can see he even says, so when he says she asked me to apologize, he's talking about the chief who called him.
Yes.
So basically, he said something that was true. Technically, the First Nations do not have a blanket veto, opposed to. He got a stern call from his true master, this First Nations chief, and she asked him to come out here. And obviously, Mark Carney made sure he came out here too. They're doing the dance, and you can tell how uncomfortable he is. You can tell he's terrified he's going to say the wrong word. He's not at all doing this on his own. This is a scandal like breaking, because it shows that they are not going to actually build anything, right? They are terrified of offending the First Nations. They're not going to build anything to get this economy going.
The king had to make a land acknowledgement during the speech from the throne.
The King of England made a land acknowledgement in fucking Canada. Like, if I don't at all buy into this is stolen land, but if you did, that's the guy who fucking stole it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the guy.
But don't worry, those same indigenous group went to Rome with Carney to speak to the Pope, to attend his first ceremony, because obviously everybody as part of the First Nations and Mark Carney are Christians, right?
Yes, of course, right? Yeah. All right, let's try
just listen. No, but I rewinded it,
okay,
just so that you can hear the mistakes. Like, nobody in government told me that. Bro.
Yeah, you're telling on yourself, brother.
Do this by anyone. She said that
did you apologize to the national chief?
I did, and I told her that I would do so publicly soon as well. And this is completely on my own initiative. I've not been asked to do this by anyone. She said that she would appreciate if I would offer some clarity, but this is not coming from anyone within government. This is something I feel compelled to do.
This was clarity.
Who talked? But who talked about government? We're talking about the girl at the First Nation. He's like, nobody asked me at the why are you bringing it?
Well, the fact that he said that.
What do you mean? I was with Julie yesterday. What do you mean?
Yeah. Where were you yesterday? I wasn't with Julie. Well, now I know you're with Julie. But that's now we know it's clearly in the government. It's all. He says, I want to give clarity. There's nothing of the sort here. He has done the exact opposite. He has made this so much less clear than simple.
It's clear.
No,
it's clear.
They don't. You know what's clear, Sean? No, they don't have veto power. They do not have veto power. That's real clear. What you're doing now is the opposite of being clear.
No, he was very clear. They have veto power. They have him on speed dial when he says something they don't like. Yeah. And Mark Carney will ask his master minions to apologize for him, because obviously Carney's never going to apologize for anything. Exactly. So this is clear that the woke gods are running the Liberal Party, And yes, the king gave a land
And that-
acknowledgement.
And
That's
that's
enough
why
right
it's
there.
that's why it's important, is because it shows they are not going to build the projects necessary to kickstart our economy, to utilize our natural resources in the way that Mark Carney promised that we would in his campaign. Are we going to try to finish that, or are we just going to give up?
No, we'll finish it. It's
All
just
right.
it's her look. Like she couldn't be bothered. Look at the reporter is just like, you're so full of shit. But yes,
Yeah.
let's finish it. Let's try.
All right.
Let's try.
I have come into a position that I think is essential in the process of respecting the rights of Indigenous peoples, and I wanted to make sure that not just Chief Woodhouse, but Indigenous leaders, Indigenous people across this country know that my desire and the Government of Canada's desire is to move forward on a relationship.
You know what I find amazing in all of this is that even the CBC paid reporter didn't believe him.
No,
She's looking at him, and
she's coming in
what-
hot.
I gotta give it to her. She is so much better than I would. If he would have talked to me like that, I would have laughed in his face. Like, I don't know how she was able to keep her composure. Maybe her job depends on it, but I would have laughed right in his face. Like, okay, bro, why'd you bring government? I would have asked, like, hey, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
Yeah,
what
why?
is Julie part of the conversation?
Yeah,
here?
yeah. I never asked about Julie at all. I just asked where you were last night.
What the fuck?
But now I want to know who Julie is.
Who's Julie? Yeah, who's
Yeah.
Julie?
I think yeah. So
God damn.
I think you can see a couple things. We're already starting to see how this government is going to unfold, and this is, it's a little too early for us to take our victory lap yet. But so far, this is doing exactly what we said was going to happen. Mark Carney on the campaign said, drill. We're going to drill. We're going to dig. We're going to build. We're going to get our economy back together. And at the end of the day, we are a natural resources economy. That is the only way we're going to get it kickstarted again, is if we start exploiting our natural resources. And me and you at the time, because we covered the election campaign, we said that's bullshit. We said he's saying these things because they sound good and he knows Canadians want to hear it. But at the very next day, when he's asked, will you get rid of Bill C-69, which is essentially the veto. Bill C-69 gives First Nations a veto. He said, nope, not going to do it. So he's playing both sides here. He's going to say, hey, I want to build pipelines. I want to exploit our energy. I want to become an energy superpower. But then, okay, but are you willing to do what it takes to do that, which would be to repeal Bill C-69? No, we're not going to do that. So what's going to happen is he won't be able to get it done. And then he's going to blame Bill C-69 for it. He's going to say, my hands are tied, but he tied his own fucking hands. And so far, what we've said, like that speech there, that little ridiculous song and dance, that little dog and pony show by Sean Fraser, is exactly showing that what's going on, that what we said is going to happen is happening. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, just doing the dog and pony. So we'll take some comments on this.
Take them all, bro. We have time. It's
all right.
And we have an angry Canadian.
Yeah, we got a new
I like that name. That's a great name, by the way. Angry Canadian. I like it.
I'm just going back to so Bumpy starts off here. He says Sean Fraser also walked those comments back. They do have a veto. The courts will always side with First Nations in Section 35. Do you mean he walked back what we just saw, or do you mean he was walking like? Do you mean?
No, I think that was his.
That was the walk back that Bumpy means. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
and you know what? Actually, I got a video of him just before he recorded this, and he started practicing right.
Is that him?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with him. But this is Sean Fraser practicing before the interview yesterday.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You guys know that was just we caught him.
Yeah, that's him.
We're supposed to see that. Just practicing with.
Yeah. So Bumpy says Bill 5 has passed in Ontario. First Nations have threatened blockades of highways and railways, calling for Idle No More 2.0. Oh yeah, I remember Idle No More. Oh Jesus Christ! What is Bill 5 in Ontario, Bumpy? Is it based like just summarize? Is it
Bill
an anti-development
bill?
bill? It's like an anti-development bill. Okay.
Yeah. No, we talked about this before.
It's the one we talked about the other day.
To grant the power of the government of Ontario to basically zone pretty much anything they want. Like they can say whatever becomes whatever they
so they can
want, all in the name
override.
of development.
That's
Yeah,
what we need.
that's basically
we need a federal bill like that if we're going to get any pipelines built.
or just stop fucking caring about people's feelings and start
Yeah.
caring more about our GDP and the
Yes.
tens of billions of dollars that we lose by not exploiting oil and gas and natural resources and everything else that we have available in this fucking beautiful country of ours. But instead, let's just kiss the ring of the woke gods, make sure that the First Nations are happy, make sure that Mini Marks Carney is happy, that Sean Fraser has enough money to buy new t-shirts, and everything will be good.
Wise guy says the whole idea that the First Nations could not be bought off is ludicrous. If they want the pipelines built, they will be built, regardless of who has veto power. Well, yeah, I get that. If they want them built, they will be built. But I mean, that's kind of a problem, because what if they don't want them built, but we want them built because we need it
They
for
can
our
be
GDP?
bought off. They can be
Yeah.
bought off.
Oh,
is
yeah, for
basically what he's
sure.
saying.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, most people don't
agree with you.
understand that at the border of the US and Mexico is basically the only place there's no walls because of First Nations. Same thing in Canada. Do you know that most of the drugs actually
Come in
pass through the First Nation?
There's some reserves that straddle both.
Some reserves have both sides of the Great Lakes.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So of course,
Wow.
they have some reserves have it in Alberta. Some reserves have the Great Lakes. So don't give me this shit that it's a moral thing.
Yeah.
You have a lot of chiefs that take all the money, the hundreds of millions of dollars that's given to them by federal government, and don't give it to their people.
Nope.
Because they have the right to do whatever they want.
Do whatever
with
they
it.
want with it. Yep, that's right.
And obviously,
and then they blame the Canadian government for there's the water shit, and they don't have any services.
Don't give me this shit that they can't be bought off. They can. They obviously
Absolutely
are all the fucking time. So don't give me this shit.
Yeah,
But man,
that's right. Bumpy says, how dare you ask the government a question about their authority against sub-sovereign entities? How dare you? Yeah, exactly. Like, that was a perfectly reasonable question, right? And where Sean Fraser is saying, oh, I reject the premise of the question. Why would you? It's a perfectly reasonable question. Do they have a veto or not? But of course, he has to.
How dare you? How dare you, fat Greta Thunberg is asking. How dare you, says fat Greta.
Yeah, she's getting there.
How dare you?
Getting up there. What's that? Oh, is that real?
No, of course not. It's AI. Like, this was the picture and somebody just posted it there. Sorry. But how dare you, says Greta. How dare you?
Oh yeah, she's very upset. That's right. How dare you? You've stolen my childhood.
Why I said that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I got it. I did get it.
How dare you?
How dare you? You stole my childhood.
But it's way better to do it when she's fat. It's so much better.
Sasquatch says the Liberals are buying time to do nothing to help Canada. They're stacking up excuses. Like Carney is saying, he stands with Indigenous people in Canada. Yeah, I agree with that take. I think they're just buying time to do nothing, or at least buying time to do not to do what they want to do before people realize that they're not really doing anything that's helping Canada.
You know, Sasquatch, you're in for the best season of Canada, the reality show. You're in for a treat.
Bumpy says Ontario legislature just closed today. Doug Ford moved to resume the legislature on October 20th. Wow. Yeah, that sounds like
they closed until October 20th.
That's wild. Yeah.
While they just gave government the power to do pretty much whatever the fuck they want on any land in Ontario. Oh, I don't see a problem with that at all. That sounds legit as fuck.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it's a coincidence, Nico. Stop being such a conspiracy theorist. This is all a coincidence. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Nick says, because we were talking about the Catholic Church, Nick says, yes, because the Catholic Church is something the First Nations honor and respect so much. So much BS. Reconciliation is all about politics and money for the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was ever thus. It's just a grift and a money grab at this point. And I think, here's Bumpy with an explanation of Bill 5. Streamlining development assessments allows the government to override existing regulations. First Nations concerned, it will prevent consultation. I feel like the First Nations are actually concerned it will prevent their leverage over the situation. It will prevent their ability to extract money out of whatever, get their pound
Being
of flesh
bought
or
off.
whatever deal is planned. Yep, exactly.
But the thing is, the thing is, at the end of the day, there needs to be conversation. I don't want the government to have a
No,
veto
100%,
off of
100%.
everything, nor do I want First Nation to have veto. I don't trust any of those motherfuckers out there. I don't care which party you're in. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't trust you. You need to convince me that what you're trying to do is the right thing. If you can't, fuck you, not interested.
100%. Yep.
But so I'm not for Bill 5. I don't think they should have that. And the fact that they're quitting right now until October, I must have misread that. There must have been a typo there. Because if that's the case, bro, come on. You're literally, those little shits when you're a kid, they drop like a bag of poop and they put it on fire.
Yep.
It's like catching them with a bag of poop on fire in their hands and the lighter.
The poop bag.
Fuck. Bag of poop. No, it's a bag of poop. It's not a poop bag. It's a bag of poop.
He called the
French.
shit poop.
It's
Do you
a bag of
remember
poop.
what was that on I think it was Billy Madison, him and his buddies, the first Adam Sandler movie, him and his buddies
Okay,
were
I
doing
know.
that, lighting the bag, and then the old guy would come out and stomp it. He's like, there's poop on the deck again, and they're all dying laughing. He called the shit poop.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, no, so it's a bit of a shit show. It's a bit of a shit show, as Sasquatch says. I've been following Canadian
take a
politics for a
few-
year, and nothing has changed. It is a shit show.
It's getting worse, I think. It's getting worse. Wait, they don't have... No, they don't. I've been fishing my whole life in the same pond. Do I now own that pond? Asking for a friend. Yes, I give it to you. It's yours now.
Yes, it's yours.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
That looks like Ozzy Osbourne
yeah,
to me.
that's what I assume it is, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is
Yes.
Ozzy.
God damn. That guy is the story of why. If you need to convince your teenagers not to do drugs,
It's
show
that guy.
them that guy.
Yeah.
His wife has basically been holding him together for 2 decades now. That fuck is sitting in his
Oh yeah.
just
he's
drooling.
fucking- yeah, his brain is fucking fried.
He is the story of why youth don't do drugs. Do you remember
Yes.
that commercial? They would break eggs in a pan and then they would
Yeah,
start
this is your
whisking
brain.
them.
This is your brain on drugs.
This is your brain on drugs.
that is
Sorry, bro. Sorry, Andrew Canadian, if you like Ozzy. His music's great. I like his music, but god damn, that guy in real life is.
Nick says, Nico, you may have more insight, but I've noticed the quality of life in Cree in Northern Quebec is much higher than any Ontario First Nations. So it's just the way the system works is the government of Canada
all over the place in Canada. They're doing
some of them
well.
are great. Yeah, yeah.
Some are just shit.
It depends on if you have a leader or chief of integrity, and that's all it is. Because the government of Canada gives just money to the chief, and he then distributes it or invests it as he sees fit. If you have a chief of integrity, there's more than enough to have a thriving, successful reserve. If you have a corrupt chief who just takes the money and gives them to his cronies, his lackeys, and uses it to fix local elections and stuff, because a lot of that happens. I mean, there's 2 reserves where I live. One is thriving, has like businesses on it. Like every person in that tribe in that reserve gets like $50,000 check when they turn 18. They're doing really, really well. And there's another at the other side of town. And it's literally like from the movies, like you go there's just like packs of dogs running around. The houses are decrepit and running, like it's night and day. It all depends on your leadership, like everything.
Yeah. Well, that's that. I don't know how they elect their leaders.
They do have they have elections. That's just tribal elections. But once you're already in power, you can do a lot to stay in power by rigging them or making sure you
like
usually
dictatorship type.
Absolutely on the corrupt reserves you've got like the wealthy chief, and he's got his cronies, and they're well fed and well paid, just like in a communist system, right? The elites are always they always get privileges, and it's their job to continue to entrench the power of the already powerful.
So Ozzy confirms that is Ozzy. I'm pretty sure that's what I said, right? Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, it is Ozzy. It's definitely.
I use the photo because it's awesome. Well, it's awesome.
Yeah, Ozzy's
Nothing
great.
like biting the head off of a bat.
A bit of, yeah.
He did that for real, right?
Oh, yeah,
Did
that's
you
a
hear-
real bat. was real bad.
but he didn't know though. At least that's what he claims.
Oh, is that what it
somebody
was? I think
it was during a
he had to go
show
get a
and-
rabies shot.
Yeah, or you mean the bat?
Yeah, well, the bat didn't make it.
No,
Yeah,
but the bat needed a
the bat had to get a rabies shot. Yeah. No,
the amount of drugs and the amount of women that guy slept with.
oh fuck yeah, yeah.
I would have
yeah,
felt
yeah.
bad for the bat, like
the
get a
bat,
shot.
yeah.
Even if the head is off, you might
Yeah.
get a rabies shot. I'm just saying. Man.
Yeah. What do you want? You want to put a pin in there?
Hold on. I had another story. There's one other thing that actually that was your story too. Trump has implemented a travel ban that is fully or partially restricting 19 countries.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? When you sent that to me earlier, I completely misread it. I thought you meant that Trump had been banned for 19 countries. I'm like, the fuck does he care? Do you see the list of countries? The fuck does he care? He doesn't want to go there no matter what.
I don't know
But
if you
then
got
I realized,
got it brought
yeah,
up, but
yeah,
okay.
right here.
You want me to stop sharing? Do you want to? You got a better one there, or all right?
That's just your
one?
link
Yep.
from earlier. Oh no! Oh
Right.
shit! That's your screen. Is the same as mine. Go.
Oh, same one. All good. All good. Breaking President Trump implements travel ban. So essentially, fully or partially restricts entry from these 19 countries: Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Partially restricted countries: Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. So that's you may not like that, or you may like that, but it's definitely newsworthy. That's not really the kind of thing that President of the United States does very often. That's a major shift in immigration policy, and it'll be interesting to see how the far left freaks out about it. But it'll just be one more piece of evidence how he's a fascist, Nazi, and all that.
I can show that to you right now.
Yeah.
You just scroll down and you look at some of the comments. He really doesn't like Africans or Muslim countries. How fitting.
Yeah. I mean, no sense of like where this is where a lot of the terrorism is coming from, but of course they don't want to have that conversation.
Oh, but again, Trump does what he does best, and he's a mega troll, and he has people talk about him all the time. Love him or hate him, he is the chief of marketing. That dude is a fucking genius when it comes to being in the news. Whatever he does, you'll hear about it because people will talk about it.
Yep. No, that's right.
Again, 7 of the 12 countries are Islamic countries.
Boo-hoo.
Just saying.
Of course. Yeah, it should be.
I don't see a problem with that. Do
I don't see a
you?
problem with it at all. Considering many of the Atlantic societies are fundamentally do not have values that align with the West. Many of those countries will allow 9-year-old girls to marry old men, and no one will see a problem with it. No, we don't need immigration from those kind of countries.
Sure hope these countries don't do reciprocal bans. Could really screw up my summer travel plans. Some people are awesome. Often the comments are so much better than the post.
Sylvie says, will you guys talk about Palantir and how great Trump is about that? Yeah, we could discuss that later.
Man.
Or tomorrow maybe.
We have a lawyer tomorrow on the show, remember?
Oh, that's right. That's
Sylvie, I need more time to research it. I need more time to understand what they actually do, because I watched the video that you sent this morning, or I think you tagged me in yesterday. But the funny part is that it sounds like the voice is actually AI. I was kind of threw off by the video because it didn't sound real.
Yeah.
The video you posted, you tagged us in, sounded like AI. So I'm like, yeah, bro, that's insane. But I need to research it.
It's definitely interesting.
Research more of it.
It's about like big data. I'm just looking at the New York Times headline. Trump taps Palantir to compile data on Americans. So it'll be interesting to we definitely would have to dig into it and like research wise first before we can talk about it. But it definitely looks like there's some there.
Palantir is a company that has a software that will track people with AI technology. Basically, the information that I could find this morning is that they're correlating what Palantir is doing
Yep.
with the type of system that the Chinese have in order to enforce their social credit score.
So that's,
And that's why I didn't want to go. I know that I don't have time in the morning to the show to dig into that type of rabbit hole.
yeah,
I will do my best to do that over the weekend, sit outside with a cigar and just fucking read on it. But
interesting.
from what I could find this morning, it's really not only is there Palantir, but supposedly that the NSA also has a software that I forgot what the name is that interconnects with Palantir. That would, because for the people out there, like I come from the telecommunication world, like for 20 years, I sold big internet connection to massive companies. And one of the things that we knew here in Canada is you cannot send your data over to the US because the US, as part of the NSA, will copy every single piece of content that is within their border. They will make a copy of it and store it somewhere in case they ever need it. That was part, if I'm not mistaken, of the Patriot Act. And it's something that was done under Obama, but nobody knew for the longest time. But in the tech world, it's something we've known forever that was the case. The problem with the NSA is that they have been saving that data for 10, 20 years now. If they integrate with a software that can make sense of it, because this is the biggest problem in the world where I come from, is it's one thing to have big data and have all the data in the world, but you need to have an interface. You need to have a software that can present it to you in a way that it makes sense, that organizes all that information to say, you know what, because for the longest time, you could do queries to that data, but a human cannot handle the sheer volume of data. Now that you have AI, if you have a company like Palantir that can come up with a software that is AI based, that is capable of making sense of the data that the NSA's been collecting for 15, 20 years. Shit, the amount of, they can literally, you're causing me problems. What's your name? Nico Login, enter, everything gets pulled up, everything gets organized. I have all the information in front of me, organized for somebody to see. But you know that it's not humans that take decision anymore. You can train your AI to tell them what you need. So they will take decision like this off of an action that I'm jaywalking right now. I would do in China right away. Boop, I'm detected on the camera. AI software is in the back end, lower my credit score because my social credit score because I jaywalked. This is not a conspiracy theory. That is happening in China right now. So basically, they're trying to say that that's what Trump wants in the US. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's not real. I haven't digged into it too much. Would it surprise me that it's real? No, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all that this is real.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, I'm just kind of hearing about it just now. I just, as you're talking, doing a very quick Google search, and then Sylvie says many dots to connect. It's also tied to Peter Thiel, which I do know a little bit about Peter Thiel. So just that alone suggests that, yeah, we'll dig into it, do some research, and I suspect there'll probably be something for us to talk about at some point soon, because there's definitely, it sounds like there's some there. Bumpy says, what? I worked in telecommunications. I sold cell phones for 30 years. I remember when BlackBerry was hot. The Motorola Razr. Oh, buddy. Oh, that was big when the Razr first came out.
I remember the StarTAC Motorola. The phone with the battery that's 3 times the size of a fucking cell. I remember cell phone having a cable with a battery that you had to. Do you remember Tupac Shakur's videos?
Oh, yeah.
He's acting all tough with his
big old
cell phone on.
Do you remember Saved by the Bell? Zach Morris had that giant fucking phone.
Hello.
Yeah,
hey. And yet it's funny because you look at one of my favorite movies of all time. How am I forgetting this? The movie from Ben Stiller where he plays that dumb idiot that's a fashion model.
Zoolander?
Zoolander. In Zoolander, the phone that was before the smartphone.
Oh yeah,
you had the tiny phone. It went the complete opposite, right? We went small, and then now it's as big as possible. People have tabs as a cell phone.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, guys, I'll probably pin it there. Thank you so much for being here. As always, you could have been here anywhere in the world today and chose to be here with us, and we always appreciate that. Looks like we got some new faces in here. Hopefully, if you guys are new and you appreciate what we do, if you like the vibe here, if you like the conversation and the discourse, you'll stick around. And the best way you can support us, if you really want to do that is by becoming a member. It starts at the low price of $2.99 per month, and that will give you access to the Discord server where you can continue the conversation 24/7. You can suggest topics for us to discuss, and a lot of times that's where we get our topics of discussions is from the Discord server. And if nothing else, you will just support us and allow us to keep doing this, keep creating content for you guys, and we can all help grow this community together. Remember, tune in tomorrow because we have a special guest. We have a lawyer. What's his name?
His name, I'll do the pitch if you want. Tomorrow
Okay.
we have John Carpay, Canadian lawyer and president of Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, to speak about Bill C-2. Rob and I broke it down yesterday. We went through what we found was troublesome in the bill. You can check it out. It's on the YouTube channel, the live that we done yesterday. We do a dive into it, but I was able to find someone because somebody on the Discord server, Cheryl, recommended I talk to this guy. His office agreed. We have him on tomorrow. So hopefully you show up with some questions.
If you got questions, ask
That's
them
why
and-
we do it
and
live,
answer.
man. That's
Yeah.
why we do what we do live, because we want to be able to answer the questions that you guys have, the comments. But yeah, John Carpay from Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms is going to join us at 12:30. So 30 minutes after we start. I don't know how long we have him. Hopefully 2 hours, and we can just talk about this stuff for a long time. But him and his team seem to be troubled by Bill C-2 as well. You can check out their X, and they don't seem to be very keen of it already.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show and a great conversation. And just quickly, Angry Canadian says, I'm Canadian. I'm too poor to become a member, but I've been called a dick. Hey, no worries. Just stick around. Keep coming back. Throw your comments.
You'll end up
there.
calling me a dick soon enough. So I feel you, bro. See, there you go. I'll get you started. Angry Canadian, you're a dick. There you go.
Yeah. If nothing
You
else,
heard it.
if nothing else, subscribe to the channel. That won't cost anything, and just come back and keep help us build the community, guys. Other than that, we will see you tomorrow for an excellent, what promises to be a very good show. And we'll see you then. Be safe, have fun, and don't do anything too crazy. Peace.
No, do something crazy.
Okay.